One.
Welcome in, everybody.
I did it right today.
You did it.
They heard me say one.
You did.
So I ruined your whole thing, right?
No.
So that ruins your whole thing, right?
I don't let anything
That ruins your whole thing, right?
Listen, if that ruins our whole thing, that means it ruins...
That ruins your whole thing, right?
I don't think so.
Dang it.
I don't think we want it to, Jason. You know?
That ruins everything, right, Chris?
No. Yes, it's devastating. There you go, Jason.
Yes!
Yes. How we all doing? We've got...
I thrive through your suffering.
Shaylin, Haley, Danger Boy, Scorched Earth. What's going on, everybody? Hopefully you're all having a amazing Thursday. We got Rock, Emperor of Forge Minis. What's going on, everybody?
Hello!
It is a Gen Con week for some of you. For some of you who are in the Indianapolis area, hopefully you're able to go. It is a little bit expensive, so... Cat. Oh. Cat.
What's the matter?
Oh.
Cat shows up. You won yesterday, but you didn't win because you weren't here.
Oh.
There, I said it. I said it. I said it.
We don't know what to do.
I said it. We were so bummed, Katarina. We were like, she's got to be here.
And you're normally here, but it was so late for you.
Yeah, it was like, what did somebody say, like 1:30 in the morning?
Yeah.
It's a stretch.
Danger Boy says, I bet a lot of new people don't know that Jason was the fist bump meme kid when he was younger. What? I love that we both responded that way. Danger Boy, I have no idea what you're talking about.
The fist bump meme kid?
Bro, I swear you've been doing this for so long. Rock, yes. Jason has been streaming for a long time. Jimbo, that's okay. Better luck next time, says Kat. Hey, that's a good attitude. Hey, Double T, get that. No links. How many times have I said that? No links. I don't. No links allowed. I'm going to time you out, mister. Jimbo says, Jimbo, I knew you were coming in hot with this question today because we missed you yesterday. I'm glad you got it. Jason, I know you told me once, but it's been a good bit and wanted to double check. The two name paints, X green, brown, and the second name is the color with the... Oh, can you explain? Okay.
Chris is having a rough time with this one.
No, I think you're asking how we do our names on our bottles. That's what you're asking.
The first word is the adjective. The second word is the subject. So the first word is the alteration to the second word.
There you go.
So gray-blue is a blue with gray in it. In most cases. Technically in all cases. But like white-blue is technically more of a blue-white, but it didn't roll off the tongue the same way.
Okay, Jimbo, I think I restated yours properly. Okay, I had them backwards in my mind. Okay.
Yeah. Like if you buy red orange, it is a reddish orange. It is not an orangish red. Orange red is an orangish red. So.
But what if you put them together?
Don't. Just don't.
Repray, thank you so much for that sub. Jason, what are you painting up today?
The same thing I've been working on for like a week.
Yes, this is the Lord of the Hunt. This is
I'm still doing base coats on all the tchotchkes because he's got a million things on him, and I didn't realize it was this freaking time-consuming just to get base coats on a million different things. It's beginning to be annoying. It's a great model. It's beginning to be an annoying model.
Eric, do you use the Wizard's Butt paint in your painting? I love them personally. Yeah, he does.
Yep.
FYI, I did get taupe and dark camo green, says Avian, as per your suggestion. Great. I'm happy for you. Rose, giveaway day part dose? No giveaway today. we hit our marks yesterday.
Most of them.
Jimbo says, I was making a list of all my paints and had them in the wrong area colors wise, and they were second. You guys would all have a heart attack if you saw the way I organize my paints.
Why?
I have no rhyme or reason. Half of them
They're
are
just shoved into a
half
spot.
of them are in a box, like a decorative box, and the other ones are half like on a acrylic stand, essentially, and half of them are on a desk. My art space is very messy. I keep it that way intentionally.
I have a hard time believing that from a man who's
Me?
like, I'm cleaning my house every weekend when he's asked to do stuff. Starts to make me think that he just doesn't like hanging out with us.
Not my painting area. That's a mess.
I feel like maybe he just doesn't like hanging out with us.
I hang out. What are you talking about?
He's always like, nope, I'm cleaning the house.
I was gardening this last weekend.
Whatever he calls it this week. I was doing something other than hanging out with you.
I'm very proactive at the house. I got stuff I'm doing. I was gardening. Chris is always wahing his hair. Danger Boy, use English. What are you talking about here? Wad. Hello, Chris and Jason. Hey, Wad. Is it Thursday today?
It is Thursday.
Are we sure?
We are sure.
Wad, how you doing? I heard you all talking. Nick, my dude, says I heard you all talking about using the secret sauce. It's special sauce for airbrush. Do you have any other tips for that? And can you airbrush the metallic and transparent lines in a similar way?
When you're asking me if we have any other tips for using it in the airbrush, is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I'm.
1-to-1 with the color is typically a good start with just regular colors.
I don't know why your thing's not showing up. Okay, yeah.
And then what was the second part of that?
But here we go. Do you have any other tips for that? And can you airbrush the metallic and transparent lines in a similar way?
Yep.
I just did that.
Any paint we make can be airbrushed other than the heavy acrylics, like the heavy warm white, heavy titanium white, and the expert line. And even those, if you thin them down, can be. But they're just not made for it. But yeah, our full line can be airbrushed. Transparents, metallics, you name it. We do that on purpose so that you can get exactly what you need out of every color you pick up.
Danger Boy. You do you. We just don't want anybody to get in trouble at work. That's all I'm going to say.
I mean, sometimes it could be fun.
I mean, I don't know.
Stick it to the man.
Yeah. That's what I do.
You tell your boss that you're watching painting. And if they have a problem with it, they can call me. My number is whatever Chris's cell phone is.
Mine is 911.
602.
If you dial 911, if you're in the Phoenix area, you'll get me first.
Really?
Oh, yeah, man.
I don't believe that.
When was the last time you called 911?
I literally don't believe that at all. Just yesterday. Right after stream. Hoping that they could give me some sort of moral support after having to deal with you all day.
It is a therapy kind of Thursday, isn't it?
It is.
You know what, Jason?
I know a lot of what's.
And I don't know a lot of who's. Jimbo says, I have the big bag you all make and was trying to group my colors, washes, metallics, but some colors are really off likewise, and now I know why, because I had sort of the first part. Yes, that's how it goes, Jimbo. Or you can do what I do and throw it all in there and just grab a color and use that one.
He is chaos. Chris is chaos.
You know?
Chaos.
Art shouldn't have a rhyme or reason, man.
Chaos. Chris is chaos.
Oh, it's Thursday. That means it's the day before Chris gets fired and replaced by Jen and rehired on Monday, says Frigid. Now you understand the entire operation of Monument Hobbies.
Pretty much.
Our HR logistics
it's a lot of paperwork. A lot of paperwork. They're like, oh, really? This again? I'm like, yep, he did it again.
Little Billy's like, speaking of support, who do I contact to get Chris fired? Your congressman.
Trust me, there's already petitions submitted to me all the time.
Yeah. And I get constant message from all of you over on Discord. Can we get rid of this guy? Who the heck is this guy?
Chris, how does that make you feel?
How does it make me feel? Powerful.
Powerful. I take up so much free brain space.
If I have you guys saying one of my little vocal stems throughout the day, just through your mind, I have achieved my goal.
Schlanky.
Chris, aren't you a congressman for Carefree? Not yet. Vote for me. Eric says, I love the turquoise and jade colors you have for Blood Bowl team. Ooh, what contrast colors would make work? What contrast colors would make work? You could use special sauce with our turquoise and jade and make them that style of paint, if that's what you're asking.
I don't think that's what he's asking.
I don't know what you're asking then, Eric.
What would contrast those colors? So if you're painting with jade and turquoise, you said?
Yeah.
Then what would you use to contrast those colors on a model?
I think that's what you're asking.
Well, they're greens, so any reds would work, but generally for the turquoise and jade range, you want something that's more in like a burnt reddish, right, than a pyro red, something that's not quite as bright and vivid as fire truck red, but you can do muted reds. Oranges and things work very well, purples. The nice thing about jade in general is that it really complements just about everything because it exists in both the blue and the green very heavily. And so every color is its friend. And you can just kind of be like, what do I want this to look like? And hit it with that.
Every color is its friend? I like that term. Hoosier. 31 months? Woo! Hoosier, thank you so much. We appreciate that. Scorcher says, Chris, I say no Gandalf and good frequently now because of you. Good.
Yes. Good. Everybody does.
Shailene says, Jason actually does like Chris, period, sometimes. That is fact, actually. I think we're 50-50.
I mean, maybe let's tone it back just a hair.
We're 50%.
Let's not get carried away.
50% he wants to be buddy, fun, win time, and 50% I'm going to shoot you in the face.
It won't be a shot.
Uh-oh? What do you mean a shot?
It won't be a shot in the face.
A punch?
That won't be how I choose to do it.
Oh, that's diabolical.
That will not be how your life ends. If I have anything to say about it, it'll be something much, much more
diabolical. His retribution will be immense.
It will not be swift.
It will be slow.
It will be slow
Jason,
and drawn out.
Tell him no.
Chris is great.
I'm
you're into that sort of thing.
I'm okay.
He was a lot better until his mom ratted me out yesterday. Now I have
hilarious.
A problem with that whole
was
thing.
Hilarious. She told me a funny story because this is a funny one. She was responding in chat, right, the whole time, right, but didn't realize she was halfway. Like, she started the stream late, but started it midway through on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So she was responding to us
after the fact.
After the fact. And yesterday, if you go into the chat, you can
There's just random mom comments?
Yes, from like after 4 o'clock and stuff.
Oh, that's great.
So I was giving her a hard time yesterday.
That's great.
No free pub for her.
Oh, she gets all the free pub. Your mom's great. I mean, other than the ratting me out part.
Yeah.
I won't have it. I won't put up with it. I've called my congressman.
No, she's like, you're going to have to get your bladder checked, mister. No. Jason is more personal, and he has enough respect for you to take his time with your demise.
Yes. I'm invested, is what I call that.
Jeff Brando says, I bought in on Warmachine and Conquest at Gen Con. I mentioned your name at both booths. Hope you get some stuff to demonstrate painting. Jeff Brando, thank you.
Enjoy, my friend.
I told you guys to tell them we sent you because we paint their stuff. Plus, we like Conquest and Warmachine. Grab it.
I just want to get all the tchotchkes base coated today. How much can there be?
You got a lot of tchotchkes on there.
I mean, to tell you, it was like, it looks so docile because there was so much fur when you're looking at the wolves, and the wolves were simple. And then all of a sudden, this guy's got more crap than a Space Marine.
He does have a lot.
He's got more skulls than your normal Space Marine. He's got more material. There's metals and furs of different kind, and bones and teeth, and it's cool, but come on.
Tibikin says, is there, let's go back up to this question really quick. Is there a particular reason why the regular Procryl line works better on a dry palette versus a wet palette? Great question.
I will refute that. It does not work better on a dry palette than a wet palette. It works equally as well on both. It does not work on a wet palette that is swamped with water. And typically in our hobby, most people over-wet their wet palette because they're dealing with other people's paints that are too thick, and you're having to thin those paints just to get them to work. Our paints don't need to be thin. They don't need water just to work. They go on smooth right out of the bottle. And if you over-wet them, then they start being super thin, and people don't like that. You know, and on the wet palette, it can cause it to look like the pigments is separating from the medium and things like that. So, you know, visually, it may not be what you're looking for when that happens. And so you just have to be very careful as you go through and change over to Procryl, because it's a different paint. I didn't make the same paint that everybody else does. You have to understand that a lot of our competitors' paints are all made in the same factories. And so they operate very similarly because they're made by the same company. And so when you look at it that way, then you're like, oh, well, hobby paints work like this. And then a paint like ours comes out, or paint like Chimera comes out, or something like that, and they aren't the same. They're very different. And so you have to learn to work with them. Even Scale 75 to some extent, although it's thicker even so than the other ones. So you have to learn new ways to work with them. And that's really where it is. That's the only difference. They work great on a wet palette. Our other artist, Big J, Baby J, he uses only a wet palette.
Yeah, he loves it.
And tons of Slayer Sword winning painters all use our paints on wet palettes. There's nothing that precludes you from doing that.
Mo saying, which is darker, graphite green, one step, or dark green, one step?
Dark green.
Oh, and it's so good. Ooh, Gnarly says, two-part question. Can you undercoat with metallic paint, and which metallic color would you use under a vivid green acrylic? Oh.
Can you undercoat with metallic paint, and what would you undercoat a vivid green with?
Magnesium.
You most definitely can.
I undercoat magnesium with everything on road bodies.
But using metallic as an undercoat, I need to ask you, like, what is your hope for the final product? Because if you want the final product to be a shiny color paint, then there are better ways to do it than undercoating, because in order to get your color built up over a metallic, you're going to have to layer it enough, unless you use something like our transparents or one-step, you know, like the one-step paints here.
Yeah.
Using metallic under them works great. Was that the question?
I think so.
Did they mention one-step in there?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
No, they didn't. They were just asking about a vivid green.
Yeah.
Oh, shiny Space Marine armor, says Gnarly.
Yeah, so you can definitely do it, but you're going to want to use a color that is very, very intense and also translucent, like one step. So something like our dark green or the new yellow green that's coming out in set 2 that's at Gen Con right now. Those things over metallic will let the shine still come through more. If you're putting a normal opaque color over metallics, by the time you get the coloring that you want, your metallic is gone. So it can be better to use something like our metallic medium that gives you the shine. The other day I painted on my fingernail. Like, here, let's do it again. Just because I love painting on my fingernail. A vivid green. What do you mean by vivid green? Like our bright green?
Salamander green. I'm thinking salamanders.
Does like our bright green? Or just regular green? Which one of these do you want to see?
Yeah. He said he was thinking salamanders.
Oh, so green.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
regular green. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
We got you.
And obviously you would shade and do all the other stuff, but I'm going to show you. Like, you can basically paint the model the way you would without it being shiny and metallic, and then apply the metallic medium over the top. So when we do that, let's just take green as it sits. Right? And you have a very, as you said, vivid green, right? It's just green, wow. And you would have shadow and mid-tone and whatever you want to this, but this is your ultimate goal. While that's drying on my fingernail, I will show you what I did the other day, because our metallic medium is just a colorless metal flake in resin. So it's already still a paint. It just doesn't have much opacity. It has some because the mica flake is going to give it some opacity. And it has some color because the mica flake is more like a pearlescent effect when it's like this. It's almost like a transparent white metallic. It doesn't have much opacity, but it does have some. So it will lighten the color when you add it to it. But not by too much. And so what I can do on the palette is take the metallic medium and mix it in with the green, is the other choice. And that will give me a green metallic that I can just paint with. And you'll notice it's a little bit lighter because of the metallic medium in it. But you can still darken this up, do whatever you need to with it, right? And so that way you can get the metallic in the green from the get-go. Just mix the medium in it, and you can turn any of your colors into a metallic paint, right? But now that this side is dry on the green, we can take the metallic medium and a little bit of water on our brush and thin it down just a bit. And then we can paint that right over the top. So you've got your completely cured green paint, and then you put the metallic medium over the top. So you can either apply the medium over the top of your armor or mix it in with the armor. And you'll see once that dries the difference. They'll be slightly different because you'll have more shine where you use the medium last than you will when you use the medium in it. But then you can also come back with the medium over the top of this one, right? And create even more shine there if you want. But this is the way to get a metallic paint in there. This also works with like our transparent green. Our transparents work even better than the opaque colors like this.
Yeah.
Because they are built to work with things like this, where you put a metallic in it, it'll keep more of the shine. But the green is going to be a little darker, so you might want to add a little bit of transparent yellow, transparent white to it to get the color right. Be a little bit more mixing involved. But you see on both cases of this, how I get very similar. You see just a little bit more shine on the upper part of my fingernail with the green than you do on the bottom part, but the bottom part still has a metallic sheen to it. It just lets more of the green show through because I mixed the colors together here. Here I did the color and the metallic over it, but in both cases I get a metallic green.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. What a good tool. Gnarly, I think you've answered
Any color.
Gnarly's question.
Any color can be done with that. You just need the metallic medium.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that metallic medium is amazing. Cliff Jumper saying, what's the best way to do water effects on a miniature's base? Water effects. What do you like to do for water, Jason? That's a good question.
I don't do it a lot,
Right.
but you know, clear resin nowadays, they have the clear UV resin that you can buy in bottles, and you squeeze it out and then you hit it with a UV flashlight.
And you're done.
That seems to be the best way, because that's going to allow it to... The normal two-part epoxy waters, the problem with them is that as they cure, they tend to they settle and create a concave dished shape. It'll never, it's not that it'll never, you'll have to build up thin layers of it and take more time to get it to dry where it's flat like the surface of water would be. What you see a lot of times if you try to put it on the base in a small area is that it dishes. It's high at the edges where it hits the ground and a little bit lower in the middle, which is kind of funky. But with the new UV cured resins, you just take the clear bottle of resin, squeeze it in where you want it, let it settle to where it's all flat, and then hit it with the UV lamp, and boom, you're done.
There you go. Let's go back to this question. You definitely answered Gnarly's question here. Oh, here you go. Grand Deceiver.
Yeah. Oh, can you add transparent color to a one-step if you wanted to punch up the color without losing the transparency of it? So give me an example. Like you want to add transparent blue to the one-step blue. It will change the color, and any resin you put, anything you mix into one-step will make it less one-step because you're blending it with something else. So our transparent paints have a similar resin in them, but they don't have all of the things that make it flow like one-step does. And so anything that you dilute one-step with will make it not as flow, make it not work exactly like one-step. Water, anything other than one-step medium, because one-step medium is just colorless one-step. So you can mix one-step medium in with it, but of course that dilutes the coloring. So if you put transparent in with it, you can do it, and then probably a little bit of water to get the viscosity back, maybe. I haven't done that because I have never found any of the one-step colors to be lacking in their audacious saturation. All of them are very saturated colors, so I'm curious as to which one you feel like isn't the color you wanted to have it be. Because remember, you're putting it over a base coat, and it's inheriting some of the color temperature and hue of your base coat, so they're desaturating by their very nature when you put them on a model.
Yeah.
If you're looking for something more saturated, you might just want to paint with regular paint. But again, I don't know what you're trying to do, so... You were trying to add transparent black to the gray. Just thin the black out. Buy the black when it comes out of set 2 and thin it down. Then you have your answer. Because it sounds like you're trying to get a darker gray. And you can just get the new black. Because in set 2, we just have black. And you thin that down and that'll get you more of a dark gray.
Kraken, we do not sell the Mega set on the EU site.
Not yet.
Also, Shailene says, I used a little bit of brown one-step in the UV resin on the jungle bases and still cured super hard. Oh, cool. Awesome.
Yeah, acrylic paint won't change that much. Now, you can overdo it, right? You can put too much acrylic into the resin, and it'll change the way it reacts and cures. But you have to put a lot. Like, that's a nice thing with water-based paints is you can typically put them into your various resins, whether it's a 2-part epoxy, or even the UV resins to color them, and then you're able to make some really neat things like, do a green in your first layer so it looks like the mossy bottom of a pond, and then blue on the top layer, or just clear so that you get some depth to it. That's a real fun way to do it, but you need a deep enough body of water for that to make sense.
Kraken saying, do you have a UK website?
We do not currently. The EU website is where our headquarters are in France for Monument EU, and so our warehouse and all of our shipping and business happens out of France. We can ship to the UK and charge you VAT and all that stuff, but we do not have a UK dedicated site yet. It is something we are working on.
But we have retailers over there.
Yeah. Element Games, Firestorm. Yeah.
Check out the this FLGS can also show you that kind of stuff too. Now, Skater says, I'm painting Tyranids like black, blue / red colors and want to make bases in jungle style. Do you have any good sources to buy print jungle stuff?
Oh, I don't. My manufacturer has a ton of that stuff.
Yeah. Epic Basing's got some cool bits I've used in the past. Now that I have a resin printer, I've used them.
I don't do that a lot, right? I'm kind of boring with bases. I just stick rock and basing texture on it because I'm usually with when I'm doing models like this, I don't care. It's just like put a little bit of basing texture on it, a rock or two, maybe a tuft, and then I just paint all that. Yeah. It's very rare that I'm doing lavish basing anymore because to me it doesn't have the value any longer for the army I'm doing. I used to do that a ton.
I love basing stuff.
The old hole punches that you could get at Michael's that did leaves, and different like maple leaf and palm fronds. You could get these hole puncher things at Michael's. I think Green Stuff World tried to steal that and make it seem like they invented it. But you can get those hole punchers and those things for, like, what do they call it, scrapbooking? Yeah. There's all sorts of really cool hole punch machines that have inserts that you can put in that punch out different shapes. Yeah. Some of those will do really fun things like palm fronds. And then you can get paper that is lightly laminated so that it can be painted without spreading and absorbing paint too much. And you can punch out like palm fronds and then stick them on the base and put white glue over them to harden them into shape. And then you can paint them like any way you want. So there's some fun stuff that you can do that is able to take it even further than products you can buy in 3D print. But there are a lot. Like I backed a deal on my mini factory a long time ago from Texarli Factory, TXARLI Factory, I believe. I don't have any relationship to them, but I believe it was Texarli Factory, or I don't know how to pronounce that. TXARLI, I think that's how you spell it. factory on My Mini Factory, and they do really cool terrain bits for putting on your bases.
Yeah.
And they had like tentacles and alien spikes and rocks and all sorts of stuff that you printed out, and I backed that and printed a bunch of that stuff out, and it was pretty good.
There's quite a bit.
They have a lot of neat stuff.
Yeah, if you got a 3D printer, there's so much out there.
Tadpole Jackson, their bases are dope in general. I think so, right? Do I have that right? Does it sound like the right company?
I think so.
Yeah.
Elric's Hobbies has some
Epic basing bits are cool. Yeah.
I use Epic basing bits just for like Jason had the cactus idea, and I was looking for like little bits there. So, but granted, you have to have a 3D printer. Well,
you made a wax candle press using an image and a hobbyist version of Fusion 360. Pretty simple. Could probably be utilized with some mods to different application. There's so much fun stuff you can do. Like if you're a hobbyist in the sense of wanting to just dig in and get your hands dirty and make stuff, like it can get insane. You can just use stuff under your kitchen sink to make terrain, and you can taking those green, the sponges that have the green gritty stuff on the back.
Yeah.
Take that green gritty stuff and peel it off the sponge and then shred it apart, and it becomes like lichen. Like it looks very plant-like when you start to spread it apart because it has thick and thin, viney-looking fingers to it. And so you can take that and spread it and glue it down with super glue, and it hardens and it looks like creeping vine. And that's just on old sponges you have. It's like taking the dryer sheets and using them to make marble effects, right? There's all sorts of tricks of the trade that you can do like that cause you to have all sorts of amazing ability to create cool looking things. Because remember, it only works if your brain can distinguish the physical shape of it versus what it actually looks like, because that's going to look like green sponge stuff, right? But you can take a sponge, a open cell sponge, like you use to clean your car, something that has a bunch of big holes in it, and tear a chunk of it off and stick it on a base, hit it with some super glue, let it harden, or even white glue and let it harden, and then paint it, and it's lava rock. And it's cheap, you already own it, you can put it on the base, it makes all sorts of really cool stuff, but a lot of people can't see it and envision it for what it can become once you paint it. So that's where the creative process goes, is that you can look around and be like, oh, what if... and then paint it, and you can make it look like all sorts of crazy stuff. But it looks like a sponge at first, and you're like, what's that going to do for me?
There you go. Ornezo says, any idea how to do some sturdy snow/freezing effects on miniatures? Need to be sturdy to play with and then not come off. Okay.
Sturdy.
Not just the base effect, like there's
sturdy
snow on a figure.
Freezing effect.
You could just
using like our snow basing material, the super fine stuff, you can put it on a miniature and stipple it on and make it look like, that bit of light snow.
Yeah.
That's just sitting on the model. It looks great.
Looks great on Tufts too.
Right? And yeah, you can put it on Tufts. It obviously is made to go all over the ground, but you can stipple it onto a model too. To get things like the frozen effect, a light dusting of that, because it's going to give texture, so you got to be a little careful with it, because you don't want to have it just be a bunch of, crags of texture paint on your model. But
nice.
But there's ways that you can get that and stipple it very lightly and cover a model with it and make it look like they're out in snowfall. It works great.
Eric says, thank you for teaching us about painting. I appreciate you sharing. Love these posts. Hey.
Heck yeah,
Eric,
thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks for tuning in.
It takes you tuning in to make it seem worthwhile for us. So thank you for tuning in and giving us an outlet for our craziness. I very much appreciate it. You guys, whether you know it or not, you keep me sane because you let me do this fun thing that I love and have some feedback and response and sharing rather than just sitting in a room and doing it by myself.
Yeah.
So thank you. For 10 years. Isn't that nuts?
It's a long time. Yeah, you guys make the content. So we appreciate it. Mo, someone has to keep you sane with this Chris guy around all the time. That's true.
It was like 1:58, and I was like, Chris, is it the time where I have to go be yelled at by you for 2 hours?
And what'd I say?
You said, yes.
I said the opposite. I said, nope, not today.
He says it is.
We will leave if we don't get the pink hat, says Ghost Hunter. Man, Ghost Hunter, you really want this pink hat, man.
So I was surprised that I don't know that Chris protected me from whatever Jen said about that yesterday, but I never heard anything about that. So
What are you talking about?
like when I made the comment about how
No, you said
she never
something.
wears the hat, so I'll probably steal it from her and give it to Ghost Hunter.
You did say that.
And then she never mentioned it, so
Maybe
she wasn't listening. She might not have been listening.
Well,
It might have been one of those few times where Jen, the all-seeing eye, was not open at the time.
Ogre says, "We keep you sane?" Question mark. Is
yeah.
that when we watch Chris drive you insane? It's a really just weird.
It's a hand-in-hand symbiotic kind of thing. Chris is doing his best to drive me insane and gaslight me.
I don't think I am a gas.
While all of you guys are trying to keep it real.
A gas lamper. Dark hot pink plaid hat would be the best of all. Maybe we'll do one exclusive 1-day sale for a dark pink plaid hat.
Well, somebody has to make one first. We
We'll
can't just make that happen. That's
We'll
not how
do
the
it.
world of hats works.
It's going to be $1,700 for 1 day only.
I guarantee custom fabric hats are not cheap.
Maybe on
April 1st.
Oh my god.
Question. I've seen you paint fabric. Red, in fact, okay. But do you have anything on a white, purple, and green silk fabrics like you paint color choices? I have a lot of greens and purples, but I'm not sure I have many lighter, brighter purples.
Like, are you asking what you would highlight them up with? Right?
Maybe.
Because, with fabric, you're not having to have a broad range. I mean, if it's, like you said, if it's silk and it's shiny, then you're going to need more color to it. But more reflection, which means brighter colors. But for the most part, if you have purples, if you have dark purples, that's all you need. The hardest part with the blue spectrum is making the color darker and retaining the hue. You can do lighter. You can highlight it by mixing in magentas, flesh tones, pale blues, depending on where you want to push the purple to. So you have a lot of options to take one color and turn it into whatever you need. We talk about that a lot with mixing. So if you don't feel like your collection spans enough purples to feel comfortable, following a tutorial you've seen or whatever with, me just grabbing another bottle of paint, remember that you can always just make the 3 colors you need. Because in most cases, you don't need more than 3 colors. Unless you're telling me you're painting something hyper detailed and, you're trying to do a very big, broad range of midtones and things of that nature. But in most cases, you don't need a lot of color. And so you can take whatever purple is your favorite in your collection and add, any bright color other than white to it to make a highlight, and any dark color other than black to it to make a shade, if you need to go darker. And that's the way that works, and opens up your whole library of paint to offer you a lot more than it does at face value if you get comfortable with saying, okay, yeah, I'm going to try that.
Now, Jason...
No, Christopher.
Dumbris is looking to de-cream cheese his transparent white. I'm reconstitute, I bet is where you're going. Is there any medium you would use for that? He's
water.
trying to finish his challenge mini. Yeah,
I just use water.
Yeah, there you go.
Awa.
That is a very pretty fingernail you got there.
Oh, I have shiny green fingernails.
It is.
I actually didn't get a whole lot of green on anything else. I actually painted it okay that time.
Jason's side business is he's an excellent manicurist.
I am not a manicurist.
$15 million if you would want to get one.
Not gonna happen.
Jason,
if
somebody offered you $15 million to paint their nails.
For $15 million, I do all 20 of them, or however many nails you have. Twice. I'd give you a once over guarantee.
So fancy. Hi, I'm Sleepy. Nice, love that name. Are you going to make sales content, or are we going to catch any other channels giving heads up on the new One-Step set? Also, I heard you make hats now. To all of these questions, let's go back. Yes, I don't know what you're talking about with sales content.
What does that mean?
If you're talking about just what we're doing here now, this is what we do. to show off our products, typically with the new sets.
We made a promo video with the set 1 release that showed how one step works.
Yeah.
But we don't typically do when we have a new product that works in a new way, we will do a release like that. But we typically don't go back for every release and like do a video that shows off all the colors. We do it here.
Yeah. We do that.
You see it live.
Constantly.
You can ask the questions. We show them to you. Like right now, I'm using the dark brown from set 2.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how we do marketing around here, is show you live, answer the questions. But when we do the quote unquote marketing videos, when the product is brand new and we're showing you, here's how one step works, or noosh, or whatever it is.
Like promo set bumpers. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm sleepy. We might be speaking a different lingo. Now, if you're talking about like promo stuff, like merch.
No, like he's talking about videos.
I don't know.
A bumper video that shows you like the stuff in the set.
Yeah, I'm assuming so.
No, that's what it is.
I don't know,
we don't do that.
Jason.
You don't know. You're a producer.
I do, but no, I know that part. I think Hi, I'm Sleepy is asking about merch too. From this one on this top. But yes, we do make hats. Also, I heard you make hats now. Yes, we do make hats. That is our merch and our apparel line, which is right here. Here's the link. Bling. Oh, Hi, I'm Sleepy says yes. Here you go. Here's our merch link. Those are all of our current apparel. But if you're in the UK or in the EU, we don't sell it over there.
Yet. As soon as Gabe gets back from Gen Con, we're going to set all that up on the EU site.
If I don't see a ProCrow one-step ad on a billboard in the next 30 days, I'm swearing off the brand. Well,
it was nice knowing you. We had a good run.
Jason, no joke, man. I think we got to lock down that billboard across the street.
I think not.
For the future of this building.
I think not.
Why? It'd be awesome with a massive arrow.
I think that...
Look over there. It's a cool place.
I think your definition of awesome and mine are very, very different.
That's true. I don't know. I just think it would be cool.
Thank you for your input.
Hey, you're welcome.
I'm going to do nothing with that.
Share a billboard with one of the lawyers. We're trying, Mo.
I've told you, right? I told you about the computer brand that makes computers that's in town here.
Yeah.
And they have been buying up billboards so that attorneys can't. That's their marketing campaign. Mm-hmm. We bought this billboard so an attorney couldn't. I love it. I think they're my heroes. I want to buy a computer from them even though I don't need a computer, just because. Because I think that don't put me in charge. I would make it to where ambulance chasing attorneys could never advertise again.
Conquers
worse for the nation than cigarettes, and we know that cigarettes advertise. So there you go.
I think you said this before that yellow has trouble with saturation, but can you explain why?
Not saturation, opacity.
Why my warm yellow streaks thickly or pools because it's too thin? I can never properly thin it. You're probably going over too much of a dark surface, yeah?
Typically, you're the only thing yellow because of its lack of opacity. It's not typically an issue with like consistency of paint or anything like that. It's an issue with opacity. And when you're putting it over whatever color you're putting it over, that color may be too dark, like Chris is alluding to. And if that color's too dark, you're going to see more contrast made by the lack of opacity. Its translucence is going to show you brush strokes. It's going to show you spots where it didn't fill in properly and all that kind of stuff. So there's not like a solution for it is to paint over lighter colors. Yellows, when I'm building up yellows, I always want to build them up over mid-tone oranges or other mid-tone yellows like yellow ochre, and not over things like black, right? Like if I prime black and I put yellow over it, it's going to give me this really disgusting green color. That's just the way yellow works. Are there yellows that don't work that way? Sure. Our bismuth yellow is more opaque. That's because of the pigment. The bismuth pigment is more opaque. and it's a single pigment that is built for that. And so it will give you better results if you want a yellow over a dark color. Then you can paint with bismuth first and then go back over the bismuth with warm yellow to get the hue that you want. So there are tricks like that you can do. You can paint titanium white, which is awesomely opaque. You can put titanium white over the top of the color that you're trying to paint, and then paint the warm yellow over the top of that. And that works. So there's a lot of tricks for painting yellow that can make it easier to pull off, but it's always going to give you a little bit of a problem. And the streakiness comes from that translucence and the contrast that it's making with the base coat.
This is a great name from TikTok. Willie's Wonderful Wildebeest. What's the best way to test...
Willie's Wonderful Wildebeest.
It's great.
I love that.
What's the best way to test consistency when mixing a wash or glaze? Mine always leave tide marks. Great question.
Give me an example of what you're mixing.
Yeah.
God, that dark brown is awesome.
Are many of Procro paints single pigment?
Or what?
Are many of Procro paints single pigment?
Quite a few are, yeah. But we use blended hues too. I mean, you have to. You can't get every color out of a single pigment without those colors being hundreds of dollars sometimes. There's probably a single synthetic pigment for every color you can imagine. Whether or not it works in a water-based suspension for acrylics is the big question. Some of them don't. And then whether or not it costs in an affordable way is the bigger thing.
In an accident, don't call us. Sidious, that's what I'm saying. We could make something. In an accident?
Don't call us, come play games.
Yeah, don't call us, come buy minis.
Depressed? In an accident? Come play war games.
Need a divorce?
That would actually be funny, and I would do that.
Jason, that's what I'm saying. It's right there, man.
So, Christopher.
Jason.
What is the volume of traffic in front of our building on 3rd Street?
15,000 people a day.
The reason that billboard is not in use is because there's no traffic since they moved the street down to 2 lanes.
But Jason, that's what I'm saying. That's what the fun is, so it's got to be dirt cheap.
So I'm going to take it out of your paycheck because it's not going to do anything. And then it can be cool and we can put your face on it.
What if it's dirt cheap and it's like $100?
Do you see what I have to deal with, chat? I'm trying to run a legitimate business here, and these are my employees.
I'm going to call them, see
but
how
it's
much it
dirt
costs.
cheap. It doesn't matter if it's free.
Jason, what? If it's free? Of course we would do something if it's free.
Nothing's free, Chris.
Nothing's for free. Amen, brother. You hit deep on that one. I'm going to call him.
Used to brush on primer today for the first time. It's awesome. The brush on primers work great.
I wonder if I could just...
Avian, this is why there's money in the bank. This is not why I'm the boss. It's why there's still money in the bank, and we can continue to operate. Because I don't buy the billboard across the street.
Let the record show that I am one of the least expensive, askers of my department, which is true. My budget's the small one. Gabe over here, willy-nilly, just going to shows and doing his thing. Jose, whatever Jose does.
Are those angels? Is that light an angel?
Jose's always spending Jason's money. Everybody's spending Jason's money except for Chris.
It's coming.
And I asked for one billboard.
I feel it.
No free pub. That's what I would say on the billboard. No free pub.
Just pray for tomorrow, Avian. Pray for tomorrow.
Oh. But then we're...
Just pray for tomorrow.
Hey, you know what, Jason?
I know a lot of whats, a couple of who's, and a thing or two.
We're back.
And a mo.
We're painting.
One mo.
What do we want? A sign on Monument. When do we want it now? Thank you, Droth. Start a petition.
I feel bad for the person that owns that sign because 3rd Street used to be a major thoroughfare with 4 lanes. And then an ambulance chasing attorney who has a billboard in town sued the city so that they would reduce it to 2 lanes and make all the sidewalks handicap compatible. Whatever it is, ADA compliance on all the sidewalks.
Yeah.
Our street has 0 foot traffic other than homeless people.
Yep.
And now it has no street traffic for the people that own the billboards. Because now nobody drives down our street anymore, except if you're going to one of the businesses. It's insane.
Chris spends so little money that Jason has to go spend it for him. Sidious, this is kind of true.
The one time I told him to go spend money, he didn't, and I had to do it. Is that what you're referring to? I had to go buy the pan tilt head, which has been shipped. And when Chris gets it, he will be ecstatic. and he will have the time of his life talking tech with us for days as he introduces it to the stream. But I had to go do it. I had to pull the trigger. How many times, chat? I think we had the latest close but not going over was like 2 million in times I told Chris to go buy a pan tilt head.
I'm gonna have to redo the Death Star.
You see this? This is what I get from him.
It's true.
The PT. It's not a PTZ. We already have the Z part. It's a PT head.
It's just that
couldn't have been cheap. They're actually not bad nowadays.
No, they're pretty good. They're pretty good. Like
if you don't have, I mean, like these Blackmagic Cinema 4K cameras, even with the huge piece of glass that we have on it, don't weigh a whole lot.
No,
it's not like a 50-pound cinema rig or something. So
and that one technically, that one that you got, like. They can go over a little, but we'll be fine. I just have to take the Death Star down. That thing's been up there for a long time. A really long time. It's going to be a whole new world for all of you.
It's going to be a whole new world for me.
It is.
I'm never, ever, ever going to be asked to... Can you get back in frame? Center up.
That's why we spent the money.
I spent the money so that I could paint the way I enjoy painting. That's the way it is.
That's true. That's fine. Hey, you know what? I don't combat it. I'm always just trying to be very financially responsible.
No, you're not.
Jason, that's not even a joke.
Hey, can we get the billboard next door? What if it's cheap?
That's a great idea. What if it is cheap?
I don't care if it's cheap.
No, on the real though, no. I do not. I don't spend a lot of Jason's money.
He spends all my money.
I really don't. I'm really the least spender. What do you guys do for base coats for whites, like polar bear fur? Jason likes blues for whites, right, Jason?
Yeah, for like polar bear fur, I think blues are really good. The reality, I was answering this question on one of our customer service emails today because somebody was saying, hey, how do I use transparent white? How do I paint, white fur and white armor? And obviously we have a video for painting that Tau Ghost Kill that shows how to paint white without using white. And it is a really good primer on painting white just in general.
It's a great video.
But when painting fur and natural things, you look at this wolf, and this wolf is painted with an underlayment of red oxide. And then all it is the warm flesh over the top of that, and then the new bright slate gray one step, right? And it gives us a grayish white fur because the one step is kind of a bluish color, right? And so that works really well at creating white fur without using any white at all. And then I've used the graphite gray in as a wash on the shadowed side to give us a little bit more depth on the fur on the opposite side. But it has that reddish tinge underneath. And I'll probably go ahead and glaze a little bit more red oxide back over it. But that's a great way to do it. But you could have used dark purple, dark blue and white blue, and then this over the top I think would be spectacular. That would give you, it wouldn't be as this vivid because we didn't do like a one step. This is a standard layering job. But on this guy, it's all done with royal purple, blue, sky blue, light, white blue, and then transparent white is really the only white I've used on top. So there's really not white in its purest form used at all. I could go back with titanium white to give it some highlight, but I chose not to on the fur because I wanted to have that on the metallic bits.
Okay. All right, going back to Willie's wonderful wildebeest question. What's the best way to test consistency when mixing a wash or glaze? Mine always leave tide marks. I'm using bright yellow-green highlights over blackish green, and I'm trying to glaze a transition.
Bright yellow-green highlights
over blackish green, and I'm trying to glaze a transition. Ooh, that's a tough one.
And you're trying to make a wash?
I'm trying to glaze a transition. Glaze.
But he was asking about washes.
Yeah, he says when mixing a wash or glaze.
Okay, that makes a difference. You're getting them to be spotty?
Tide marks, whatever that means. Mine always leave tide marks.
So the tide marks are typically from applying too much material. So when we glaze, and I've shown that on that pouch, right? I'll bring these back out because I showed in a video, and maybe Chris can find the link. The link you sent me was wrong, though, Chris. The timing on the link was wrong. You were too far into the video. You went to a spot where I was talking about this, but I'd already done it. It's like a couple minutes before the link you gave me.
The first link?
Yeah. Neither one of them was right.
What? I
Yeah.
watched them.
Well, you sent me a link, and where it put me in the video was too far in the video.
Oh.
So I had to back it through. But we have a video where I went and did this due to the same kind of question on stream, and I went over these red pouches with titanium white as a glaze. So a very opaque color. Titanium white is the most opaque color almost. And so I took it, I loaded the brush up with a lot of material, and then when I glazed it back on, you see how it has these tide stains, the coffee staining, like that halo there, and then the staining down in the recesses, because it was too much wetness. And so you can see how the water pulled all the pigment into the low spots. You still have a little bit of pigment in white that's on the high spots, but the bulk of it went into the low spots. That's the way paint and pigment work. The more watery it is, the more the paint and the more the pigment pulls to where the water goes. And so the more wetness you have on your brush when you apply it, the more chance there is for that pigment to spread in weird ways and go in places you don't want it. And then when the water evaporates, just like when you set a coffee mug down, you pull it up and it leaves a wet spot. When the wet spot cures or evaporates, it just leaves the coffee stain in a ring around it, not an entire stain. The pigment or the coffee grinds float to where the outside of the water bubble is, and then the bubble dries and you get a ring, right? Happens on your windshield. It's why you get water spots on your windshield and they're circles, right? Because the water evaporates and it leaves all of the heavy material, like the dirt in the water, is around in a ring, as opposed to just continually covered the whole area. That's the same thing that paint does, because that's all it is. Paint is just dirt in water, right? Pigment is just dirt in water. And so when the water evaporates, if you've had too much water, then the dirt, the pigment, is around the outside of where the water was. And so it makes the paint pool and give texture and look crappy. So what you want to do when you're glazing, right, and let's take, what color do I have here? I have gray, right?
Panic Bomb really quick. That's 3 years. Thank you so much, Panic Bomb.
So if I want to glaze with this dark
amazing.
neutral gray, much darker color than white, obviously, but still pretty good. So if I want to glaze, I get it to where I've got a lot of water in my brush, and now I've got a color that as I glaze over the top of things, you can see like my tattoo through the paint, right? So we know it's going to be a pretty good glaze. But if I go in and I take all that material that I did and I have a fully loaded brush, when I go to glaze with this, like on this sleeve here, right, look at how it's going to pull and pull. Can you see that? Mm-hmm. Look at how when I touch the model, it pulls back into big old drops of color, right? Because see that? How much moisture is on my brush? So now I have to, number one, I have to fight that. I have to pull it around the model, and it's way too wet, and I'm going to get that chunky kind of pigment buildup. For washes, this is great, because it leaves pigment in the low spots. That's what you want from a wash. So you want it to run around, and this would be great as a wash. The problem is it's too wet with just water, and when the water cures, it's going to pull that pigment in weird ways because I have less resin. Now, if I go through and I get rid of most of this, see how much is still on my paintbrush?
Yeah.
But if I go get rid of most of it and treat it almost like it's a dry brush, then when I come over here and I start doing this, even if I press hard, I'm not getting those big pools of color anymore, and I'm getting just enough to be able to color the area correctly, right? And I don't have to worry about pushing it around. Where else do I have something that gray would look good over, right? Like here. So I can do this and,
so subtle, though,
and tone that down, which is what a glaze is supposed to do. It's supposed to add to that shadow. It's supposed to tone that color down a little bit. That's why you're doing it, right? And so now I've got good darkness put on there, but it will stay exactly where I put it because there's no pigment floating around. There's not enough wetness. It should just give you that sheen of wet paint, not this, right? This looks like we dunked it in water. You can tell this is way wetter than this is, right?
Yeah.
So you want this kind of look when you're glazing, not this. And this you can do all day long. And this you can do multiple layers. Once it dries, you can come back in and build up darkness as you need. So this is where you want to be as you're glazing. But it requires you to manage the moisture on your brush by taking it off on something. Paper towel, I use my thumb side of my hand all the time. And you want to, it feels wasteful, but that's how you get good glazes, is you get rid of all that. You've made a thin paint. A thin paint is going to suck into the brush more aggressively and give you more material in the brush. You need to get rid of all that material some way. If you can squib your brush around on your palette and save the paint, fine. But if you don't, then you're going to have to hit it on a paper towel or your thumb or something to drag most of that moisture off of the brush and only leave enough to paint with like normal. But now you have a translucent version of your paint, which glazes better. And you don't have to follow all that water around and have it pull and coffee stain and do all that stuff. And that works no matter what the color is. Typically when people ask me the question, they're asking about colors, they're asking about bright colors, because bright colors show the most contrast and show you the problem. Like we've been asked about yellows, and that's why I did the white on the other version. But your dark colors are having the same problem. You just don't see it as readily because they don't make as much contrast on the model. You thought the best glazes were on donuts? Correct.
There you go. Let me take this.
Yeah, Ryan, we have a good short on YouTube about that too. It's always good to revisit it a lot of times, though.
Panic Bomb again. Thank you so much for that sub. 36 months. That's wild. The zombie, take it easy. Have a good one.
Can you imagine if you had to glaze donuts this way? I would not eat donuts.
Welcome in. Treat like a dry brush. That makes sense. Thanks, Gaslamp.
Do we have Krispy Kreme? I don't like Krispy Kreme. It's way too sweet.
Too sweet?
Krispy Kreme is too much sugar. It makes my teeth hurt.
We do have Krispy Kreme, though. We've got a couple around.
They're just too sweet. It's too much. Too much.
There's been a debate over which color is.
Bosa's very good.
Transparents for glazes, right?
They can be. Any paint can turn into a glaze.
Expert acrylics are amazing for glazes.
Yeah, the expert acrylics glaze very well. The transparents glaze very well. Our regular pro acrylic glaze very well. The one-step glazes very well. Glazing is a technique, not a product. It's taking a paint and thinning its opacity so that you can apply it over a base coat and get a blend of the two colors. It lets the base color show through. Glazing is a technique, not a product. Some people will sell you a ready-made glaze. It's a ready-made paint that can be used for glazing. But if you keep that straight in your mind, then now you realize that, if glazing is a technique, all paints can glaze. I have to focus on getting the opacity and the viscosity correct so that it will work on the model, right? Like I said, you just don't want to have too much fluid. Even if you buy something that says it's a glaze, our glaze wash medium is meant to create paints for glazing. You put that in there and the glaze wash medium is thicker than water so that it dilutes the opacity while keeping the paint feeling like paint, which makes it easier for a lot of people to glaze when they're learning, because now the paint stays where you put it and doesn't flood the area like I just showed you. So that can be a way that can kind of unlock glazing for you. There's all sorts of things. It really is just practice and doing it over and 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 over.
Jason, I think I know the answer to this one.
So why are you going to ask me?
No, this is for the
Why are
people.
you wasting my time? I don't understand.
Jason, what do you feel? What's your opinion on these gourmet donuts? Somebody's asking, have you ever had a bacon maple syrup donut?
I have had bacon maple donuts.
What is your take on...
It was done like a mustache. It was some hipster thing where the bacon made a mustache on a bar.
I see.
Yeah.
So you're not
I don't like the maple icing.
Yeah.
I don't like the... I do, the idea, like, I'm always giving Jen crap because of the sweet and savory thing, like when you do sweet and meat. But, like bacon with pancakes is great. Bacon on a donut is good. The maple bar with the bacon on it, I don't like the maple part.
Oh, okay.
If you took bacon and just put it on a glazed donut, then I think that'd be great, right? Because salt and sweet is good if they're both done in measured amounts.
Now we're getting somewhere. I think that answers your question. That being said, when I was in college, we could get to the Krispy Kreme when there was fresh. That was fantastic. They are sweet. They are very sweet.
They make my teeth hurt. It's the amount of sugar that makes it makes you feel like your teeth are...
I don't remember the last time I had a Krispy Kreme donut. Oside, thank you so much. Chris,
I'm going to glaze some of the red oxide back on the white fur is what I want to do.
Back in my day. I won't, Avian. I won't do it. Back in my day, we used to have Krispy Kremes. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. That's what Avian's saying. Back in my day, they baked the donuts on site. Davian, I'm sure they did.
They still do.
Back in 1912.
Bosa literally makes the donuts in there while you're watching.
Yeah.
Every donut place in town that I know of does. Other than maybe, well, even Duncan, I think, does.
What do you mean? Hey, Little Billy, when was the last time you had a dilly bar? It was live on stream.
Tastes like chemicals.
My grandma made yeasted donuts and just dipped them in granulated salt. That sounds good. All you kids and your donuts and your crack.
All right, we're going to make a glaze out of a primer.
Out of a primer?
I'm going to take a polyurethane primer, or red oxide, because the red oxide is the color that I use for the base on this.
Oh, right.
So I need to glaze some of the I want to glaze some of the red oxide back into the fur that I've got, like the white fur on your shoulders and stuff. And so I want to do that, but I need to use the same color.
Yeah.
The red oxide that comes in the bottle is a little bit brighter.
I freaking love red oxide.
Right?
Yeah.
So
okay.
So this is like dark red oxide, but I want to have this, so I'm going to make a glaze out of our primers. I'm going to show you how to do that.
Nice.
So
okay.
I'm going to do it with our glazed wash medium.
Big Mike says, donuts? You had donuts? We just had mud and water, and we're happy to have that. Big Mike.
Big Mike, how old are you? I know you're younger than I am, so that's a lie. That's a lie. They had donuts.
Mike, I'm old too.
He's 20 years younger than me. He is not old. That doesn't qualify, Chris.
Mike says 42. Mike.
Oh, he's older than Chris by a long shot.
I remember when I was 42.
You don't remember when you were 42.
I'm 47, Jason.
Oh my God, he's 34 or something like that.
Man, I got you all fooled. It's that beautiful.
Chris is young, dude.
Face cream regimen, whatever that means. Let's see. Somebody had a question. I barely remember when I was 42. I'm currently 42. Wad, I remember.
Wad's not 42.
Wad, you are. Chris, yes, that Mo, that's what I'm saying. I'm 93. Don't let the Spotify stuff. Are you excited for
Wad, you are in fact 42? Okay, so you just turned 42?
Wad, you're a young whippersnapper.
Didn't you just recently have a birthday?
Chris,
You've been watching me paint longer than Chris has been an adult. Big Bob, correct?
I am 48.
You notice how it's always a different number?
No, what are you talking about?
It's literally always a different number.
Jason, you young buck. I'm Spartacus. That's hilarious. We share a birthday, Jason, says Wad. Oh,
that's right.
That's
I
awesome.
knew he just had his birthday because I just had my birthday.
There you go. Speaking of 42, that's Chris's grade out of 100 on the rated producer scale. Wow. Panic Bomb says, 42, you're all such children, says the 43-year-old. I remember when I was 43. Ryan just turned Chris's age this month. Woohoo! 48. Welcome, Ryan. When's your birthday, Big Mike? Is that when you're asking? His birthday is May 30th.
This is being able to take the red oxide primer and use even a polyurethane like this and do a glaze with it.
And what's the ratio, says Mojo?
Probably 1 to 1 to 1 is the way I think about it. When I'm making a wash at very low opacity, I want to take the paint and the primer you can be a little bit more aggressive with, but it worked well here at what I believe is 1 to 1 to 1. I just, it's not great science. But 1 part paint, 1 part a glazed wash medium, 1 part water. And it'll give you this flow, and it'll not overtake the top color so much, but give you a nice blended coat in there that will work well for the shadows that I'm trying to create.
What's your mother's maiden name since we're giving birthdays and dates out? No. My eldest brother is old enough to be my dad, so I have no concept of old and young, says Little Billy.
Wow.
I'm my own grandpa. Oh, this is looking good, Jason. Panic Bomb says Chris has reverse Benjamin Button disease. Yes.
Don't egg him on.
I do.
Come on.
Paint mixing with feeling, says Ryan Blade. You know it. I love that. That's my favorite part.
So again, I'm taking a bunch of it off on my thumb so I don't get pooling here. And then I'm just kind of outlining the shadow spots in between the hairs. So this is not like using it like a all over heavy filter glaze or a wash. It's really just being a little bit more painterly with it, although I'm not having to be super careful. I just want to go like on the underside of some of these hairs and in the recesses so that it sits where a wash would sit, but doesn't discolor all of the kind of white grayish color that I've got going on from the one step until I get into like heavier areas where I know the shadow would be more intense.
I feel
and that's doing a good job of putting that red back into the fur.
Ryan says, I feel different colors would use different ratios, like yellows being more transparent in general out of the bottle.
100%.
Ryan Blade?
Yeah, 100%. You always have to take into account the opacity. Oh, that's another tooth. Some of the details are kind of soft here.
Hidden in there?
Well, once I'm going back now, I'm thinking that, oh, yeah, that should have been a tooth.
Oh, I see.
This thing right here.
Oh, my gosh, that doesn't
like
even
that
look like it.
It looks like the same bundle of hairs. That's just kind of a sculpting error. Yeah. But we can fix that. We'll go back in with a tooth color and make that work.
Haley, that's the joke. That's what reverse Benjamin Button disease is.
Reverse Benjamin Button disease is just normal aging. I tell him that all the time, and he goes, that's the whole point.
Was that you impersonating yourself right there?
No.
It is fixable. We have the technology. Mo, I love that spirit. Droth, I won't tell you the joke. You get it. You know. Shailene, welcome back. We were just talking about how a tooth was hidden in the fur.
More nonsense from Chris is what we were talking about. Big sigh, Chris.
Yeah. Chris, do you have a video of Jason doing OSL? No, not exactly. It's on our list of video ideas, though.
I've got a bunch of models coming up that have OSL on them. All of my whole nice. Crix army.
Oh, cool.
Has OSL. And so the Death Jack will be probably the first one when I get back to doing the Death Jack. I just didn't want to... I got sick of doing bronze non-metallic metal on stream.
Yeah, we'll get you one. It's definitely Ogre.
This red oxide glazes really, really well. You can see how you just get a nice blend. Very, very simply.
I've been painting up some Demonites soon. Oh, are those from... what are they called?
Slaanesh.
Yeah, Slaanesh. Jason, which color of One Step Set 2 would you love to see as their skin color?
For Demonettes?
Yeah. Ooh.
Dark turquoise?
Dude, you could try... you could mix dark purple with bright slate gray.
No, I think dark turquoise.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with any of them, almost. Demon colors are kind of fun that way. They can just be whatever.
If they were Nurgly, they would be one of the yellows. I would choose one of the yellows 100% if it were like Nurgle stuff. But for Slaanesh, I think dark turquoise would be rad.
Shaylee says, I'm not 42 yet. Won't be set for 7 more years. I remember when I was 42. Long time ago.
He's in his 30s. He just looks old.
No. Did you just say I look old?
Yeah.
What is that supposed to mean?
What do the words mean?
Jason's really been burying me lately.
Well, you keep saying you're like 40-something and you're not.
I'm 47.
You're not.
I'm sorry I'm late. Did Chris get fired yet? We're close. Despon, how
We're close. Yeah, don't you love it when he just goes back? We're close.
have
Moving
any
on.
tips for less painting? Okay, Despon, have any tips for having less paint come out of the twist caps? Don't
Squeeze as hard.
Don't squeeze it so hard.
Is the first thing, right? You have to tell me because that's being tongue in cheek, right? I don't know what you mean by more paint coming out.
Yeah,
when's it coming out? Like when you tighten it back up?
The old palette flick is what we call it, like taking it off. If you have extra paint,
that looks really good.
Is it exploding? Says Little Billy. Like, is it the pressure? Because remember, ours are fully sealed, so it will do that.
Well, it won't explode, but yes, you will get more pressure built up in your bottle, especially as temperature changes, cold to hot. If you travel with them, things like that, you might find that any pressurized liquid or sealed liquid will become pressurized as it goes through barometric pressure changes and things of that nature. And our bottles seal if you have the original tops on them.
I barely squeeze it at all, and I just want a tiny bit. Oh, okay, you're looking for a smaller bit. Yeah, you can really get precise with ours.
I mean, take the top off and dip the brush in and get however much you want. Mm-hmm. Just like any paint. I mean, ours are easier to do that with than anything. So you can take the twist lid portion off. Let me hang on. Let me get rid of this glaze on here, and I'll show what I'm talking about.
Earnhardt, no apologies. We'll get to your question here after he does this example.
Yeah, give me just.
Yeah, you don't need to apologize for questions.
Yeah, you don't ever have to apologize. I just gotta. I wanna use the paint I got. It's working really well. All right. So if you want just a little bit of paint out of any of our colors, you can do two things, right? I mean, you can literally just take the top off. And then you have paint that you can get either from the inside of the jar or the neck of the bottle. Just dip your paintbrush in there and get what you want, right? So that's the easiest way because then there's no fuss, no mess. You can also twist the cap up to where it's open, and then with your fingers like this, just give it a little pinch and it'll pop off, and then you can get paint from the neck here too, right? So this is harder to do and stay clean than this is. This, you just take the top off and boom, dip it around where you need it. You can just dip it literally into the paint that you need. That's your best bet.
Yeah, the GW pots are not very friendly when it comes to minimal paint use.
Well, I mean, to some extent they are because you flip them open and it has a little bit in that cup thing at the top, and once you've shaken it and you dip your thing in it, what they aren't friendly with is using, like, you want to use your paint most of the time.
Yes, like on a palette.
Yeah, most of the time you don't want just a brush load of paint out of the jar all the time, and you don't want to leave the jar open.
Jason, do you know why they use that technology?
Somebody had a bad idea years ago and they doubled down and stuck with it.
Is that literally it?
Yeah, they had a lot of those bottles from what I understood when I worked there, and they weren't going to change it. It was just part of who they were at that point.
Wasn't it just the intention was to just dip your paint in it or your paintbrush in it?
Well, yeah, it was intended to be an open palette, right? Nobody needed wet palettes, and everybody realized you just paint. And so when you open the jar, you just dip your brush in and get the paint you need.
And grab it from the lip.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
But remember, those didn't come around for a long time. The original bottles were like bolter bolts is what they were shaped like.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, no, the original ones were like hexagon lids and just bottles with lids on them that had like the flip top.
Too. Yeah.
They had the rubberized flip top on them, and those are the first ones I ever experienced. And those were the rubber flip top would fatigue, but they were pretty good.
Yeah.
But then they went to the weird hexagon with the bolter shell cap on it, and those would the hard plastic cap would always get stuck on from dried paint, so it was really hard to use over time. So they've always fought different things with their cap. I mean, it's a bottle with paint in it, so it's never going to work exactly the way they want. You know, people say we should make regular dropper tops because they liked all the other paints they have, but then they blow the dropper off by having to squeeze so hard when the dropper gets clogged, and they get paint everywhere. And then they're like, you see them post on the internet and say, "I hate this. Look at this," and you're like, "Well, yeah, that's how that works. Our paints never do that, and they never clog. That so long as you remember to close them all the time. I can't say they never clog. If you leave a paint jar open, you can wind up with some clogging."
Plastic Priest, what colors are you using for the bones and teeth in this model?
All the bones and the toofuses were done with the 2 new yellow colors from the One Step line. So it was done with bronze yellow and olive yellow. So I did the bronze yellow, which is a greenish, the One Step colors over black. They look very dark, but they're not. You can see the bronze yellow by itself on the horns here.
Yep.
And then the olive yellow is on the axe handle. I haven't done any highlighting on the axe handle. That looked like a spinal cord to me, so I did it with that. So that's the olive yellow, and that's the bronze yellow. So the bronze yellow has a little bit more warmth to it, like browns and oranges in it, and the olive yellow is a green, which is what I used on all the skulls. And then went back over all the skulls with bone. Just bone in a kind of semi-thin, not really a glaze, but enough dilution to where it would have some ability to let the greenish yellow show through. So I put bone over the top of those, and then I put khaki over the top of the teeth. So where I used the bronze yellow, I did it with khaki. That's all this.
Mm-hmm.
And over the skulls, I just used bone. And it gives you kind of a nasty, kind of jaundiced color on the skulls that I think is just gross enough. And then on the other antlers and stuff, it just gives a warm, woody earth tone to them. I think that red turned out great. That's exactly what I wanted, was just a little bit more warmth in the shadow of the white, so that the real white part of it was just kind of up here along the top.
Really brought it back in.
Yeah.
Nice.
Speaking of which, I need to use some of this bronze yellow to get that tooth that we missed here.
That is just wild. I can't see it.
And did I use bronze on these, or were these like the skulls? No, these are the bronze yellow.
I didn't see it at all. Let's make sure that I didn't. Let's go back here.
Yeah, it's just kind of snuck in there and looks like a bundle of hair. It's an odd choice for shaping these teeth in where the sculpt, especially since this is digital, sculpted, I assume. Then why would you make these teeth the same shape as the bundles of hair around it? Right?
That's maybe interesting.
It's choice. Just an odd design choice.
Yeah.
It makes sense when you're looking at it in the artwork, probably, but when you're looking at it as a clump of hair, they all look the same. Or very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like a soul.
Super Duper John says, Jason, the fur is actually all teeth. Oh.
No, it's not. It's fur.
Shailene says, I have an update. I
feel like there's another one here, because if I look like on this one, it has one here.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have one on that side over here, so maybe I think there's hidden? One. Oh, I wonder if that... No?
Shailene says, I have to update my monument color chart before tomorrow. The insurance adjuster visits the FLGS today, so there'll be an inventory sale tomorrow, and I'm obviously going to grab a few. Nice. That's one way to do it, I guess.
Oh, from where the car went through it?
Oh, right. Oh, yes. Crazy.
That was what happened, right?
Yeah.
I feel like.
I believe that's what you're talking about, Shailene.
I think so.
Randy says George Washington had fur teeth. I don't know about that.
He had denture implants that were not what you would want them to be. Yes. In modern times, not the way we would think about that. I also have to repair a piece of fur that I thought was a bone. So.
Wait a second.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
That is kind of hard to tell, huh?
It's just these shapes are all the same. They're little triangles, and where they stop is just a little rough to tell until you paint it, and then you're like, that's not what that is. So I'll go back with some diluted warm flesh, and I'll go back over this.
Oh, I see. Oh, I gotcha.
See, there's a
Yeah.
there's a spot where there's a level change right there, but when you have it together, you know that that's part of this hair bundle.
Yeah.
But the way that the print turned out, there's a level change that shouldn't be there. So, and it does make the tooth or whatever this is look funky if you color it down like that. So I'm just gonna go.
Ghost Hunter says, Jason, beginner painters need to learn to color inside the lines.
Yes, I'm trying to do that. It's an ongoing struggle.
Now, if you're calling him out, Ghost Hunter, that's bold words. That's bold words, mister.
Ongoing struggle.
I thought you meant they...
I stay in the lines, I just get the colors wrong.
Oh. Well, you do stay in the lines pretty well. If you're into that kind of thing. That's a very pretty nail, Jason. It's just shining every time. Like, I just like green. It's very... It kind of... Okay.
People that just come in here with no prior knowledge are like, what is this man doing with one green thumbnail?
One of my little treats to myself in life.
Treat yourself.
Is taking the...
Oh, I didn't do the red there. The
whole
whole point of this.
Gatorade and
God,
putting it
I'm
in
an
the
idiot.
freezer for just like 30 minutes and it becomes like a slushy. And it reminds me of Jason's nail for some reason.
I don't know.
That color. It's giving merman. Merman. It was a throwback to what he says all the time. No, I think you're calling him out, Ghost Hunter. I think you're intentionally calling the gauntlet and dropping it on the floor.
Calling the gauntlet? That's
yes.
not how
Oh,
that
gauntlet!
That's not how that works.
I need to be dropped on the floor. Closing in on a poop warning, says Big Bob. No.
Today's not a giveaway.
I'll just give the poop warning now. If you need to use the restroom in your home or wherever you're watching, please go. Please go do that. You don't need Monument Hobbies to tell you when your regular movements should be.
I like that power, though.
No, Jason, it's too much power.
I like that
Hold
power.
it!
I like having that power.
Hold it, chat. You want to give
Pinch
away?
it!
Hold it.
Hold!
Sell me on Star Wars Legion faction.
Hold!
Until Jabba the Hutt Palace win. That's all I'm going to say.
Never.
Never.
If I have my way, he will never make that for you.
What? That'd be so cool. What are you talking about?
It'd be horrible.
It would be so cool. I just wanted to paint Jabba. Sell me non-metallic meatballs. I like classic droids. They're fun. Like I like the B2 battle droids because Baby J has a really fun workup for those. So there you go. Droids. I also like the assassin droids. Those are cool. Hey, Jason.
Hey, Chris.
Just wanted to pop in and say thanks for the.
Oh, he's not Chris talking to me.
No.
That was totally like what Chris normally says. Hey, Jason. Hey, Chris.
Hey.
And he's reading something somebody else is saying.
Arkamoto says, just wanted to pop in and say thanks for helping me with the cloth on my Lions L. Johnson mini.
Oh, nice.
I ended up using dark purple into Payne's gray, dark warm gray mixed with dark ivory. Thanks for making amazing paints as well.
Hey, thank you for listening to my craziness.
Yes,
I'm glad it worked out. That's great.
Hey, glad it worked. This is when the pan tilt will come in handy.
Oh, well, if you would punch out, do your job. Jeez.
Wow. What if all the teeth are just fur? We were saying that earlier. That would be devastating. Absolutely. No, but there's a collar in there. He painted.
Yeah, they're
collar.
all tied on a collar.
Yeah. We're not losing it that bad.
No. Well, maybe, but
Well, that story's yet to be told.
maybe that story's yet to be told.
C+ for the win. That's right. How men do. C+ is a passing grade. Chris fired Despot? No. I got good grades in school.
Every single day.
I was a smart cookie. If you need someone to tell you when to go, you need more fiber, says Gus the regular guy. Amen, brother.
Amen, brother.
Just go to the bathroom. Are you regular Monument Hobbies chat? Oh, Super Duper John. Jason's craziness got to me. I'm working on 2 armies for 2 different games now. Super Duper, welcome to the crew.
The big show.
That is the motto of the Monument Hobbies stream, if y'all didn't know. Why just have one army when you can have all
armies.
of the armies? Armies.
Why would you stop with one?
That's a great idea for a shirt. Why stop at one army? Hey, not to seem impatient. Okay, there's one more day in the month, but y'all be doing the challenge review. Sometime next week, we'll let you know. We'll give you a solid date. We typically do those on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, or Thursdays. Typically not on Mondays. But yes, we will let you know.
I'm doing really,
it's August.
really big Wish.com non-metallic metal here. I'm going over the dark blue black with dark gray blue.
Oh.
Which is a new one. Not something that I normally do, but I'm testing it out here because it is in the right vein of color. I was worried about its value being a little bit too dark, but it seems to be working pretty well right now. As that mid-tone that I need. I don't know if you can tell. Yeah, you can. You can see the dark gray blue hitting there.
Panic Bomb, you have 5 AOS armies? That's wild. I have that. I have 5 AOS armies.
I was going to say, wait a second, big guy. I'm pretty sure
I do,
you
right?
also have a lot of AOS armies.
I have.
So do I.
Gloomspite, Sylvaneth, Bahamut, Nurgle. Oh, wow. Soulblight Gravelords. I do. I love them, though. They're so good. Models are amazing. And they teased, I think they leaked or teased Man Crushers, I think. I think something got out.
What do you mean got out? The ogres?
No. Man Crushers.
What is that?
The little Gargants.
Oh.
A new sprue, potentially.
Oh, cool.
I think. I don't know. There was speculation. Painting on angels using bold pyro red as midtone, which would be a bottled highlight color for bold pyro red.
Just straight out of the bottle so you don't have to mix? That's
Yeah.
what you're asking for?
Mm-hmm. No eclectic salmon.
I mean, orange red is a good step. It isn't super bright, so it isn't like a huge step up. Tan flesh works really well right out of the bottle. So does warm flesh. Warm flesh is a little more yellow. Shadow flesh can even work, but it is a little dark again. So play around with the flesh tones. Pick one that you like. Peach flesh can work.
Then warm flesh?
Warm flesh works, yeah.
Yep.
All of the above. Flesh tones is where you want to go to. Or orange. I mean, you can also just do oranges.
Yeah.
Nova orange works pretty good. It just depends on what you want your final red to look like. I prefer flesh tones over oranges just because I feel like the orange moves the whole piece towards orange a lot of the time, and maybe that's not what I'm looking for.
Oh, if you're highlighting red with oranges, it goes too orangey?
Yeah, it goes too orangey too quick. So sometimes that's not what I'm looking for. It can still look good, but...
Oh, Gus, yeah. I'm excited for the new Warhammer Heroes, especially. The Warhammer Hero stuff they're really cool models. I'll give them that. They make amazing fantasy models. That's the only free pub I'll give them.
This may be a real secret unlock here, folks.
What do you mean?
Just because, people wanting to have the ability to do what they see me do, but do it quickly
Yeah.
without the mixing that I normally do, skipping the step.
Can you explain it a little bit?
Well, yeah, skipping the step that I normally do when doing the non-metallic silver, where I would go with the dark, if I were doing like dark blue, black one step,
Oh, yeah.
then I would start mixing dark blue, black one step with like white blue to get a mid-tone.
Yeah.
And here I'm able to skip that. I'm just going dark gray blue. And the dark gray blue, when you thin it, gives you enough darkness to do the first layer. And then when you don't thin it at all, you come back and you hit the same areas with it. It is just use the same color, get a lot of different effect out of it. Because that looks really good over the dark blue black as an initial shine. And then we'll be able to go with white blue over the top of this to be our reflective shine, and it may make this, we're going to try it, it may make this just a 3-step non-metallic metal. You base with 1 step, and then your second step is this diluted, semi-diluted, I guess, dark gray blue in a layer.
Yeah.
And it's able to give you enough contrast on there. You can start, for those of you that are familiar with non-metallic metal, you can start seeing how that's going to work really well.
Oh. Nice. Blood Drunk Bruce is saying, I was browsing your paints and I stumbled upon Deep Sea Ben.
Dark Sea Ben, yep.
Yeah, Dark Sea Ben. Who is Ben?
Ben Kummetz. He is our signature artist from Germany. He is one of the longest tenured painting instructors on the planet for our hobby. He used to do a thing called the Painting Buddha on YouTube before it was cool. He was one of the first that ever really spent time doing long-form YouTube videos on how to paint everything from Space Marines to you name it.
Yeah.
And good friend of ours, loves the brand, and we did a signature set with him and Matt Seshwis, his friend also from Germany and Poland, and that's him. And he was always known for a particular color that he used out of the Vallejo line and mixed to get a color that he used for shadows on everything, and it was that Dark Sea Ben.
It's a great color.
And that is what he was known for, and so he was like, I need to create this color, and it needs to be called Dark Sea Ben. And I was like, nope, we don't name colors silly names. And he kept pushing and pushing and pushing. We had a good laugh about it, and I said, okay, I'll do it one color. So that's where it comes from. So that's how we got Dark Sea Ben.
Brunar, thank you so much for that gifted sub.
But as a one-step color, it's called dark green blue. So on the bottle of Dark Sea Ben, it says dark green blue.
Ithaca says, do you guys have any tips for plateaus / lack of progress in skill development for painting? Not necessarily a specific technique, just the mindset adjustments needed to get past that. Ooh, great
like when you feel
question.
like your abilities are starting to top out and you are not finding progress. I think that, okay, the first one is the low-hanging fruit answer, which is be okay with where you're at all the time. Be okay with the level that you're painting with, and paint models you enjoy at the level you're comfortable painting at, and be okay with that, because repetition is sometimes what breeds that push into new things, because you're there. You're finding a struggle in being a little bored with your capability, and that's where you start pushing to learn new things. But if you're also struggling to do well at those new things, it can feel like you're trapped. So the first thing is be okay with where you're at, right? Be okay with how you paint right now, and do it as well as you can, and continue to have fun painting models that by the rule of cool. Pick the models you like, paint them in your comfort zone right now, and be okay with that. And don't listen to people if they're criticizing you or whatever. You develop on your own time, and I don't know, that's a how long is a piece of string conversation. And then as you get more and more frustrated with I want to do more, then you'll find the way, and you'll find the model, and you'll find the time to go try that new technique. Go ask questions here and other places about, hey, I want to do this thing that I've seen, I don't know how to do it. And then somebody will give you some pointers. You'll go run with those. Some will work, some won't. And then eventually you'll step up your game, and then you'll adopt it into your normal painting process, and now you've leveled up all of your painting, and then you'll hit another plateau, and it'll happen again, right? And it's breaking through those ceilings that we've formed for ourselves that is the next dilemma and problem-solving thing that you have to go to. And you'll go through it all the time, right? You'll go through, like for me, one of the things is on stream, sometimes we'll do this where we paint a lot of army miniatures, and they're not display miniatures. We paint them well so they look good on the table, but they're not our best painting, right? It's not, and so I paint, because right now I'm into Warmachine and Conquest, and I'm painting all these armies, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And I'm dealing with, okay, what can I do to cheat a few steps and still make it look good? And so I get into that mindset of paint quicker, cut some corners, make them look good, put lots of models on the table, have fun rolling dice, yada, 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 yada. And then you go and you pick up a bust and you want to do a display piece, and I have to redress my thought process, because I'll attack it like, what corners am I cutting?
Yeah.
And I'll forget to do the parts that make it look as professional as it can. And so I'll have to take a step back, and my frustration will not be that I need to learn something else. It'll need that I need to retrain my brain to stop trying to paint the wish.com version of my paint style and go back into the full push. And so you have to retrain, because you'll get locked into a certain thing. Maybe you paint a army that's all red, and as you're painting red, you get really good with your red, but then you want to paint another army, and you felt so good about your red that you find all the armies for the next couple of miniatures that you're painting have a lot of red on them, and you're like, you got to break out. So you'll have that all the time. Sometimes it's skill, sometimes it's just lack of originality, because you get caught up in a color scheme that you like and you paint it a bunch of times. Don't feel bad about any of it. Be comfortable in where you're at. Doesn't matter. And then push yourself as you go. Big Mike, take it easy, man. I'm having issues when weathering my vehicles. Followed your tank airbrush video. After filtering, I'm left with olive green colors for the armor, which is fine. I'm using light and dark brown colors with Noosh. It looks great under a desk lamp, and I can see the streaks and stains, but on a normal light and at 3 feet away, it just looks green, and I lose the detail. Whoa. Okay, so
Jeff before Dishonored, good question.
on the table, a lot of weathering techniques go away at 3 foot. If you're painting to survive the 3 foot rule, which is that when I look at this guy on the table, right, it winds up being like that, right? When we're playing on the table, this model looks like this. And so you can zoom out on the camera, you can put it on a table and look at it and say, okay, do I have enough contrast to tell all the bones on the cloak? And I haven't done any highlighting on the cloak or the hair yet, but so I look at it and say, okay, well, I need to do my highlights on the cloak and the hair, because it's starting to get muddy up and around where the hair and the crown of the horns and everything are. I can't tell what's what in this area, so I need more contrast. So if you're looking at your tank like this and you say, like, let's pull this one out, right? So if you're looking at your tank like this and you can't see all the weathering you've done, then amp it up so that you can see the weathering. You darken the panel lines more. You make the streaks more prevalent and more opaque. The caveat is that when you go like this and you pull it up close, it may be too exaggerated, because that's how this is working, right? When I look at Chris walking down the street, I see a shadow, a silhouette of a man. Maybe I can tell that his shirt's bright and his shorts are dark, but all the detail comes into focus as he gets closer. Yeah. Right?
It's the same thing for the table.
You have to make a decision at where do you want to see the detail? Because if I want to see the color of Chris's shoelaces at a block away, he better wear some bright damn shoelaces.
Right.
Right? Like neon. They have to be super high contrast. And then when he gets up to you, you're like, whoa, what's up with those shoelaces? So you're going to have to make that determination. Is it more important for you to see it at 3 feet, or is it more important to be able to pick the model up and see the little nuances of things you've done? And at 3 feet, it just needs to give you general contrast so people go, that's a great looking model, and pick it up and look at it. There's a value to both. I like that's a cool looking model at 3 foot, and it makes somebody want to get closer to it rather than I can see all the stuff you meant to do at 3 feet. Because typically when you do that and you amplify your contrast so abstractly at 3 foot to draw that detail attention, when you pick it up and you get close, it doesn't look as good, typically. Because your high areas of contrast mean you've got big patches of darkness next to bright patches and things like that, and as you pull it close, some of that doesn't make sense. Right? So I prefer the detail, me personally, I like the detail to work close, like when we're holding it on the paint table.
Yeah.
And I just want there to be enough distinguishing contrast at 3 foot that I can tell there's skulls on a thing here. I don't care if I can see all the color that's in the skulls. I just want to know there's skulls at 3 foot. I want to be able to tell that everything that's part of this model is a part of this model at 3 foot.
Yeah.
So I give it enough contrast to be able to tell the spears. Like right now at 3 foot, if we pop out, you can't see the spears. Because see how all this dark brown in the middle area just kind of pulls at the hair and all. It just is like, what is this? We don't know because we don't have enough contrast on it. So we pull more contrast, put more highlights on it, and it starts to distinguish all these things, and then I'll be fine. Now, if I go in and I paint wood grain on those spears, I don't care if you can see it from 3 foot. But when you pick it up and you go, oh, crap, did you literally paint wood grain on those handles? And you go, yeah, it's rad, right? And that's where it makes more sense. To me, I would rather have the interest be there at 3 foot to say, ooh, oh, damn, when they get it close.
Yeah.
You may not like that. You may want it to be like, holy crap, from 3 foot. Because maybe you're the one that wants to enjoy it at 3 foot while you're playing with it. And you don't give a damn about anybody else. Then paint it to your liking.
You know, it's so. This is gonna sound so dumb, but no,
Chris,
it's not gonna sound dumb.
You never sound so dumb. Dumb, I'll give you, but so dumb is pushing it, and I don't want you talking about my friend Chris that way.
No, this is like a no duh moment, right? But if you're really wanting to make something pop on the table, contrast is very important, right?
100%.
Like that 3 foot rule, and that obviously
100%.
that's like a no duh, but like when you say it that way, I'm like, huh. Like, so I'm painting my pigs right now, right? And I actually just finished all of the. I finished all the little pigs last night.
Oh, far out, good.
But I'm like, I'm losing the contrast on the metal because my fur is like Javelina gray, so the silver metal is not very visible.
Sure.
I probably
it kind
should
of
have
falls
made-
into it.
I probably should have made them like bronze, right? Like a bronze just smell if I wanted to see it.
That's
right?
sometimes why we make our color choices the way we do, is that, like, for me, on this model, why did I choose silver for the points and all the metal here? The buckles and everything are silver. Why didn't I? Well, I did the armbands as gold.
Yeah.
Why am I doing silver and all this stuff? Because I have so many earthy tones in the yellowish
Yeah.
and brown range on everything else, that if I go with gold, too much gold on everything, then we get lost in this sea of warm, yellowy brown tones.
Yeah.
And nothing stands out and says what it is. So I just did the armband will be shiny gold, but it's just a little detail. And the rest of it, like the antlers and everything that's in that color band will be bone or fang or
Yeah.
antler. And then I choose silver because nothing else is silver other than the fur, which is why I'm doing it as a very dark, almost wrought iron type steel.
Yeah, you know what's going
Right.
to really make this thing pop is when you paint that rock.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to really just... That's what happened with your Tau model. You painted that rock in that base.
Isn't that true? For those of you who don't know, trying to find... They can't hear me, but...
This is what happened to the Tau model. So, like, when you see this, it looks like one model. You paint that rock, it's all over.
So when you're painting and the model is very monochromatic, I'll leave it off
Yeah.
screen, and the purple, like, it's really like this. So I came up with this. We kind of fell into this color scheme because we painted a Trench Crusade model, and this is the dark blue black one step.
Yeah.
I was just showing really quickly how you can use dark blue black one step as a filter over the pale yellow and the purple that I normally do as a zenithal, and it gives it a different hue. And it came up with this really cool chromatic black, we'll call it, that leans a little green, like dark sea bend green, right? It's kind of that really dark, dreary coloring, but it's not just neutral black.
Yeah.
It's not boring black. It actually has a really cool feel to it. And then you're like, okay, well, but even with the Tau and the highlighting, it gets kind of boring as like this. So then you add some color in with, I did the purple sword because he's got like a demon blade or whatever. And then you do this.
Yeah, right.
Right. And you start looking at, okay, well, now you can bring color composition in, and this from the 3 foot, right? Because when we go and we say the conversation we're having, I always turn around because this is how we look at our own models, right? And so on the table, this is enough interest to make me say, oh, damn, oh, holy cow, yeah, that looks great, blah, 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 right? And it just gives the interest to want to take it into your hands and look at it. So This is how I paint my wargaming models. This is not a display model by any point or any stretch of the imagination, but I've created contrast both via the brightness and darkness contrast between the base and the model, but also the hue, right? The warmth and the cool nature of the black being that green, and then the base being the red, and throwing the purple in between. Then all of a sudden you've got kind of a cool color combo that works and is very basic. Right?
And
this is literally just airbrushed and outlined.
But your outline, right? Those little scritches, those are your contrast. Because look at...
They offer a lot of contrast. They allow you to boost your shine and make it look like a hard surface material for sure.
Yeah.
But, same thing. Like here, we don't have as much hard surface. So the thing that we have to look at is that where do I get those bursts of shine on this? Well, I'll have the spear points. I have white fur that gives me contrast, but how do I pull more contrast into it? Maybe some bright shine on the skull, like it's kind of polished at the point, but that'll only give me a couple of specular highlights. So there's not a lot of area here where I can get that. I'm going to have a more muted. That's kind of why I like painting fantasy models more, is because they feel more like realistic color palettes to me.
Yeah.
Because you're going to do more desaturated colors with fur and leather and all the... And the metal can be as shiny as you want, but when you have something like this that's mostly organic material...
Yeah. So what are you going to do the rock in?
Well, I don't know.
Because you have so much dark around the...
I don't know. I think it will remain a kind of mossy green. It has some vines on it, so it'll be kind of a mossy green slate style rock. I think.
Yeah.
That's my goal for it.
Rather than doing like a gray standard stone because your wolves next to it are gray.
Like Yep. You got it. Now you're starting to understand. Right. When you make some of your color choices, it's not always just like I've always said this, that whenever you're sitting around asking what color you should use next on a thing on your model, the real question is what colors haven't you used yet?
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Now, you could paint something monochromatic, and you could say that, hey, I've used a lot of grays. I just want to keep using grays. Fine. That can be a choice. Yeah. You can look and say, okay, well, like on this one, what colors haven't I used? Right? I've got some green, I've got some reds, I've got some yellows, I've got some neutral grays and some bluish grays. I'll have a little bit of blue in the blue-black steel and stuff like that, but I haven't used any vivid blues. So if I needed like a glow on this model, like the glow of the eyes, I would probably do in blue, because I don't have any of that color representative here. So if I go with like a bright sky blue glow on the eyes, that would look really cool here. They could also be something like orange. They could also be something like true bright red, because I don't have any true bright red. So you start thinking to yourself, what do I not have in the basic colors that are representative on my model? I would not do the eyes in green because I have a pretty vivid green on the cloak, right?
Yeah.
And I don't like tying those features together. I don't like having it look like the eyes are glowing the color of the cloak unless there's some reason for that to happen, right? Like if it was a magical cloak of smoke and flame, then maybe the eyes could glow that color, because then that would make sense.
Yeah.
But, I don't have... So I look for what colors are not representative on the model, and that's typically where I go with my choices as I add new colors on. Not that you need every color on the model. I don't want to make it seem like that's what I'm saying. But when you're at a loss for what color to use, sometimes it's the colors you haven't used that will lead you to the right choice.
Because a lot of people ask that question, how did you choose the colors like you chose?
Yeah.
Right.
And we like to talk about that because that process is part of what really hangs a lot of people up. Yeah. And so, like me saying I want to go back and glaze more of the red in today on the fur, it had a really pronounced effect with a very little application of color that makes there be more dimension and volume to the wolf now. Right. Just a little span of red coming up the tail really livens up the tail, and that's a simple application of paint. Right? So it didn't have to take much effort to really put a lot of good looking detail on the fur. It's just knowing what color is going to boost that. And I already knew because we had used the red in the shadows anyway, and I just hadn't allowed enough of it to show through when we put the bright slate gray one step over the top for the white fur.
Chris Reagan says, been building aircraft all my life, just getting into figures and brush painting. Your paints are fantastic and going great. It's been fun to learn how to brush paint. Nice.
Awesome.
You're gonna love it.
Welcome to it. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Here's a quick going back to Earnhardt family's question. What is the use case for Noosh versus glaze and wash versus paint wash?
Noosh is a subtractive weathering medium. So it is a wash that you put on with the express idea that you're going to take it back off with a sponge or a towel or your finger or whatever. It adds a very long dry time to your acrylics, so they act more like an oil, so that you can slather it on the side of a tank, like a brown on the side of a green tank like we were talking about, and then wipe it off, and it'll leave that gritty brown color in the recesses that you couldn't hit when you wiped it off. So it provides a weathering surface technique that allows you to recreate the idea of dirt and mud getting on the vehicle, and then the vehicle getting washed hastily, and dirt and mud still being in the rivets and the crevices and things like that. So it's a long-standing way to weather vehicles and models and things where you want to be able to create a very I don't want to always say dingy. Well, it's going to be dingy no matter what color you use, but kind of a dirty filter over the whole model. Can you use it in specific spots? Sure. But that's generally its idea. By subtractive means put the paint on, then take it off, and it stays where you couldn't reach when you wiped it off. And that's up to you what that means. Because where you don't wipe it off, the paint stays. So you can create some really cool effects. You could put white in with Noosh, put it on your plasma gun, and then wipe the top of the plasma coils, and now the white just stays in between. And that could be a really great way to put glow effects into deep crevices where you want the inside of something to glow. So it can do that. It's a very versatile thing. What was the other one? One step versus regular washes, and what else?
Paint wash.
You scrolled past it though. Where was it?
It's high up here.
Oh.
Here it is.
Glaze wash. Glaze wash medium allows you to turn any of your colors into paints you can glaze and filter with the expectation that you don't remove any of them. You just put them on the model and they stay. That's what we just did with the red. We turn the red with the glaze wash medium into a glaze. We put it onto the model. It stays where we put it. You're not going to wipe it off. You're not going to remove it. You're going to put it where you want it and leave it, and it's fine. It flows into the recesses naturally, leaves less tinting of the color on the upper surfaces, like the highlight areas, and more color in the recesses and the shades. So that's when we talk about shades. That's what we're doing. And then bottled washes, just do that without the mixing. Right, so if you picked up, like if we made a red oxide wash, I could have used it instead of having to take the red oxide paint and mix it in with the glaze wash medium. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I wanted to, here we go. Here's another one for you, Jason.
If I wanted to do a dark purple base coat and then do warm gray zenithal and highlights, then use metallic medium over it, would that turn out? If you want to do dark purple base and do warm gray zenithal, the warm gray is not super bright, and then you're using metallic medium over the top of all that. So that your goal would be to get a purplish gray shiny base, right? Like you're doing, what are you doing it on? Like armor or something like that? It could work. The metallic medium is going to brighten up the gray. I just don't know if between the gray and the dark purple you have enough contrast for that to make a lot of difference once you glaze over the top. Let's pull them out and look. Right? Because warm gray and dark purple are not a huge bump in value. I mean, they're a value change. Yeah. But you have to think that what you're doing when you want a zenithal is something like this, going to like, let's do like bright brown gray. Right? Bright brown gray is a good, it's a little bit warmer obviously than even the warm gray, but something like this would be cool because now you have a bigger bump in value. And then when you put a glaze of the metallic medium over the top, you'll still see the difference between the bright and the dark. Remember that by putting a filter of the medium over the top, you're going to pull these colors closer together when you glaze over the top of them, because you're going to brighten this color and darken this color, or vice versa, whichever way it goes. And they're going to not have the same separation, which is why when we do zenithal, a lot of times we're working with something like this, where we're doing like the red oxide and the warm flesh, which is what I've done on all of these models, right? So that you get a very bright color over a very dark color. You get that contrast. Now what you put over the top of it inherits that contrast and still has shadows and highlights. If you put two colors that are, these aren't super close, so it'd be worth a try. But I think I think once you got them on there, especially if you airbrush this will start to blend with this, and I don't know you have enough separation. So you might want to find a brighter color than this. But I think the metallic over the top of it could be cool. I'd be interested to see what you came up with.
What technique would you use for panel lining?
I don't do panel lining.
We were just talking about this the other day.
Very often.
Yeah, we were just talking about this the other day.
I use a style of painting that starts with a very dark base and then works up to my brighter colors. So when you look at things like tanks that I paint that require panels or have panels and would want to benefit from panel lining, I never have to panel line them, but I still get the darkness in the panel that I want because I paint the whole model. This whole model was painted black brown first, and then I worked up out of the black brown into these khaki colors, right?
Yeah.
And then as I worked into the khaki colors, I pulled the paint away from the edges, so I wasn't painting bright colors into the lines anymore. So the lines stayed dark with the initial black brown.
All right.
And this whole thing has not seen any weathering. There's no weathering on this model. This weathering, it looks weathered, but the weathering only comes from the fact that I started painting it that way. So my airbrushing allows this model to be weathered. Like you look at this panel and it has a great weathered look on this snorkel, right? But there's no weathering here at all. No dry brushing, no weathering at all. This is literally just painted with pulling in the edges with my brighter colors. So I don't typically have to do any panel lining because all of my dark panels look naturally dark anyway, right? So that's how I paint. I can do panel lining, but it is best done over large surfaces with oils or enamels. I don't like using oils or enamels. You can use things like our Noosh, and you can go and paint all the panel lines in like we did on this guy.
Yeah.
That gets to be a little tedious because you don't, painting each of those lines takes a really steady hand and feels like freehanding, but it can be done. And when you use like an enamel or an oil, then you can load it up with mineral spirit and hit it, and it'll just color that line. You tap it once and it flows all the way through the line due to the fact that the oil in it makes it slide along the surface better. Acrylics you can't really do that with very easily.
Yeah.
We showed the other day how that is a real pain.
Isaac Schaefer, great question. If there's a time for another question, yep. I'm about to order some dry pigments from your store, our weathering pigments.
Cool.
Do they mix like normal paints to give you a single color?
Sure.
Also, what is the working time with them?
Well, the dry pigments, the working time is forever.
Yeah, it's just...
Okay, now wait.
Ooh.
Let me explain.
Yeah.
They adhere to the surface of the model in a way you can't explain until you experience it.
It's on there, man.
You're talking about a very, very fine dust particle of pigment because these are the same pigments we use in our paints. Super fine.
Yeah.
Can you mix them? Yes. You can take all 8 of those colors and mix them how you want. Add the white into the black to get gray. You can mix them how you want. They stay mixed. They give you good coloring. They obviously have a forever working time as a powder. When you put them on the model, you do have a working time because you can remove them. You could take water on your brush and remove them. It is going to look and be very messy as you wet them to try to take them off the model. It will take you a lot of time, and it will bring a lot of color onto the surfaces you touch with it, because as soon as you get them wet, they get concentrated, and they will bring, like if you were to use like the red iron oxide or something, or the red oxide one, and put it on there and not like it and try to get it wet and take it off, it's going to become very vivid red oxide on the model. So it would be frustrating to have to do that. So if you're talking working time on the model, close to none. So you want to build it up. Treat it like a dry brush. Put it on a brush, knock it off of the brush, and then go and dry brush it onto the area you want and see how much color you get. And then do it again and again and again until you build the color up the way you want it. That's how you want to apply your weathering pigments. Do not put a bunch of them on there and expect to take it off.
No, it's on. It's on there, man.
It stays. Like I'll show you. We talked about this and we did the red on here, and this has been done, I don't know, the week we came out with it, and I showed by piling just a ton of it on there how when you pile it on and then you took a brush and wiped it off of the front, that you can do that, but look how it piled it up where you wiped it too, down at the bottom, right? And this is, like I said, this has been on there for a long time. Let me get a brush I don't care about, right? And you're not gonna get that to reduce now. I mean, and I haven't varnished this or anything, but you're not gonna change that.
Yeah, it's on there.
It's on there.
It's almost, I would treat it like a paint almost sometimes too.
Well, it's the same pigment, and like I said, it's such a fine particulate that once it gets ground into the surface of the model by pressure and application, you're going to have, it's slim and none that you're getting it off of there. That's why I say be careful as you load it up, dry brush it on there or paint it on there with your paintbrush and do it in steps so that you build it up to the amount that you want.
Oh, I know exactly. Ryan, I know you're out there.
What?
Ryan, I know what you're talking about now. You do that noise click thing, that like song.
Doot 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 doot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ryan, because Ryan edits the videos, he's like, Jason does this thing where he starts singing, like doing this click song thing. So, but I'm like, I've never heard that in my life, but now I know.
I go doot 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 doot.
Would the white pigment work for dry bone? I use the unbleached titanium.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. The unbleached titanium is a little yellower and looks really, really cool for bone. But yeah.
I'm telling you, weathering pigments are my new favorite thing.
It is kind of a Looney Tunes thing.
They're freaking awesome.
It's like at the end of the cartoon.
Yeah, they are awesome. Because I was too worried my pigs were too gray, and I just started bringing the earth up onto them with the weathering pigments, and it fixed my problem. It's great. Yeah, somebody was asking earlier, Despon was saying if they were bringing back the old models from Warmachine. And
every old faction has at least one list that's viable from the lists that were I called them the sub-faction, but they were called the... not narrative lists. What were they called?
Legends?
I don't remember. You know, like for Trolls, they came out with a Storm of the North sub-list, and it only allowed you to use certain models. That's still viable. You can't use all your stuff. Like even with Grimkin, which was a newer army, you can't use all the models. Much to Chris's chagrin, they took out the piggybacks.
Oh, they were so cool.
They also took out the guy that had the spoon that ladled out people's eyes. He blinded them, and it was great.
Yeah.
Warmachine. Tadpole. Isaac Schaefer, the doot 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 doot. It's like a little ditty that was played back during like the silent movies where they had a score. It would be like at the end of a funny thing.
It's Looney Tunes for sure.
And Looney Tunes and stuff like that. It was something that they put at the end of like a comedy.
Yeah. Chris, August 03 has... Yeah, I know.
I just found my entire Grimkin army, and I'm very excited about it.
Yeah.
I have all the models I need. Well, I had to buy another unit of Dreadrots because I could only find one of my old ones.
Yeah.
So that's coming in the mail. But other than that, I found all of that. So it was so funny. I found all the Grimkin models. I mean, this is funny because this is stuff we painted on stream in 2017.
Yeah.
Before it's all pre-Pro Acryl. My entire Grimkin, well, not my entire Grimkin army. The bulk of it is pre-Pro Acryl and right as Pro Acryl was coming out.
Are you gonna reprime those?
I'm gonna reprime some of them and paint over them.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have some customized models. I've got.
You got that one dude with the big pumpkin. That's a proxy. Because that's not from Grimkin.
No, that's a proxy. That's for. I'll grab it. That's for.
One of the
they used to have you had to bring an objective.
Oh,
and that was your objective.
Oh, some armies are being brought back, not everything is being brought back. I believe some of the models, like the piggybacks, they don't have those for Grimkin anymore. But there's Grimkin's got my favorite model is that house. The house is dope. I almost bought that STL, but then I'm like, it's so expensive. Oh, yes. He's bringing some Grimkin right now.
I have some fun things to show. Some people might remember these. So,
I'll zoom back in. Sorry. The skin guys.
The skin and moans.
Did you custom?
This is all customized.
This is, right, because they don't come with this.
No, I sculpted a Executioner's hood on him.
Yeah.
Right, out of the same skin, so when you pop in close, it has the same stitches.
Yeah.
Of like the way the skin is stitched on him down here. I mimicked the skin here, except it doesn't have any of the faces in it. But I did this as an Executioner's hood with little eye slits and his face popping through. And then I gave him axes. So I had to cut his arms all up and re-sculpt a lot of the stuff around the elbows and turn this hand completely around and re-sculpt the stuff that was on him here. But yeah, this is all custom done.
So you think you're going to reprime a lot of these and paint them up?
Yeah, I'm going to reprime. I'll repaint this guy entirely. This is all in Vallejo. You can see it's shiny.
Yeah.
It's all in not our paint. And then this guy was cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I took the cages off and found these were D&D things that I found.
Yeah. They do this guy. I'm like, huh. Yeah. You customize these a little bit.
Yeah, so I have 2 cage raiders, and I didn't want them to both have the exact same cages. So this one has these I bought the chains and put them on so they look like little flamey deals swinging around as he walks. So that was kind of cool. And then, and this was the fun one. This is the child. And this one we painted up like Mork from Mork with the pink polka dotted, or the green polka dotted pants and the Mork from Mork suspenders.
Yeah.
Which I thought was cool. And then the little girl.
That's a Warcaster.
Yes. This is the child.
The Dreamer one is the other one that was pretty cool.
This is the child. And then the Dreamer is Jen painted this. This is Jen's first attempt at OSL.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Again, from like 2018.
With an airbrush?
No, she did all this by brush. She doesn't use an airbrush.
Jen, I know you're out there. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, so Jen really liked the Dreamer. So she painted the Dreamer up and did her first OSL. Her first and only OSL, I think. And then, this is what you were talking about, right?
No, Despon, you can just download the app and you're good. They give the rules for free.
This guy was really cool.
That's a fun model.
This is from Cybor Miniatures.
Yeah.
Cybor Tedeschi or something like that. I think he's Polish. But he sculpts everything by hand, and then he makes resin casts. So that's what this is a full resin thing that he did. He does custom Halloween and Christmas models. And this was like this little goblin on a weird possessed pumpkin. But this looks exactly like the Dreadrots, because the Dreadrots have pumpkin heads and the skulls popping out of them. And so I felt like this was perfect for them. And you used to have a 50 mil objective in your list, and you still do.
Yeah.
So for my Grimkin, I would use this as my 50 mil objective. I wish I had a 40 mil and the other ones though.
For my Grimkin, I was going to do these little pumpkins, like pumpkin mimics, for my Dreadrot, and do pumpkin patch kind of guys.
Oh yeah.
Rather than their Dreadrots are cool, but I just like the little pumpkins.
Shailene, Jen, and you would paint really well together. Jen's a phenomenal painter. She doesn't get enough time to paint. She doesn't make enough time to paint. She could be painting all the time. She doesn't make time. I said it. You thought Warmachine was changing over to one-page rules? No. Nope. They have a full Mark IV rule set, and it's actually very lively. Feels like Warmachine again. They got rid of all the nonsense they brought in at the end of Mark III and avoided all the problems of like Mark II. It feels really good right now.
Bugs, we don't have a table big enough for that.
We need a stream where you just show us as many miniatures as you can. That could last days.
That's what I'm saying. There's no way.
That could literally last days.
We literally have shelves in that
days
room.
And days and days. Yeah, Armies of Legend. And every faction has a prime list. So even the old Retribution and Convergence and all those armies have, even Cricks and Trolls and all those have old Legends lists that are playable in prime. It's just not every model.
Right.
Which is really why I got back into it, because now all my old lists I could play, but then they have such they have such neat models. This Lord of the Hunt is amazing. And the fact that the Circle, which is one of my favorite armies, Circle of Orboros, is now part of Khador is awesome. Because now it's like, being able to have your Khador pairing at a tournament be one big stompy robots army and one of these would be great. Yeah, Old Umbry is really cool. I'm enjoying it. I'm not enjoying the fact that as you dig in, they still have as many tchotchkes as the other ones.
There's a lot
I was
of
like, look, no rivets. And I'm like, oh, but tons of other things. So. They merge Convergence and Everblight. Well, I think in the story, they stole the ability to do the technology from Convergence, right? And turned Everblight into robotic, demon things. But there's not any, Convergence-oriented things in there. They're just metallic-y, right? It's still very Everblight. I have that army, and it's fun. They're bringing back the one Crix thing I don't care about in November. I don't like pirates.
He's not a big pirate guy.
I have the Scar. Was it Scar 3, where she's a big back end of a pirate ship? I have that model. I never built it, but I have it. I thought it was cool. Pirates get more booty.
Whoa.
I mean...
Mo, inappropriate.
I mean... I have the Bandit, the Signar Bandit came in. I have that. I need to build it. Maybe I'll build it this weekend. And then I have the extreme version of the Signar Jack that's really cool with the 2 rotator cannons on its shoulders. That's going to be a lot of fun to paint.
No, Bunny's Cabbage, he is not going to Gen Con.
Nope. I'm not. The rest of the team is already there. But Chris and I are not. Yeah, Kane has a new list. They just nerfed him, but he's still good. And the new gun mages, what are they called? The Gravedigger gun mages are really cool models. Really cool models. They have like instead of the cowboy hat or the musketeer hat on them, they've got like berets, and they look really bitchin'. The Black 13th are really cool too. Yeah, all that stuff still exists in Gravediggers now, though, not in like a gun mage list. Because the gun mage list was, I don't know that it was not ever good, but I tried to run it and it wasn't great. You know, you used to have the mounted gun mages and you had a lot of units you could pull from, but it just never really lived up to the hype. But now Gravediggers does, and Gravediggers can have lots of gun mages and lots of jacks, and it's crazy. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, if you guys are in the Indianapolis area, we are at Gen Con. You can get the pre-release. Well, we aren't.
Gabe,
our team is. Yep.
And the team
having a good time over there. Go get some.
They are having a good time. They had a lot of great pictures, a lot of great interactions with people that they were showing us today. Looks like day 1 was a hit. Yep. I'm sure they're off to dinner now, right? 7 o'clock.
Sure.
They're probably out and done, as are we. Yep. So, everyone, thank you so much for hanging out, watching some paint dry with us. We're making progress. It's now no longer base coats. I'm actually doing things.
Yep.
So as we move forward, I think I'll probably tomorrow with me and Jen, I'll do the non-metallic metal. If I don't get a wild hair at my butt, I'm on the verge of having another wild hair like last week, where tomorrow's goal would be to bust through and paint another new army to go play tomorrow night. I'm thinking that's my Friday shtick, is I get up at the crack of dawn, I come to the office, and I try to knock out an entire list with at least base coats on it before we go
Reprime your Grimkin.
To there. No, maybe.
Oh.
Maybe. I would have to... No, I don't know, man.
Reprime it!
The Dreadrots won't be here, I don't think.
Oh, you're right. You need more.
I need another unit of Dreadrots.
Yeah.
They reduced the number down, or no, maybe it was always 5.
It's 5 right now.
But I didn't find enough, so...
Oh, okay.
So anyway, we'll figure it out.
You have plenty of other armies.
But everybody, thanks so much for hanging out with us. If you're new around here, stumbled upon us around this wonderful internet thing, make sure to hit the follow or the sub button wherever you're viewing from. We do this live Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Monument Standard Time here in Phoenix, Arizona, live from Monument HQ. We'd love to see you back. Make sure to click the links that Chris put in chat there. Join us on our Discord. Go check out our website, our web stores, both in the U.S. and in the EU. Thanks for all your support over the years buying our crazy products. We do manufacture Pro-Acryl. If you don't know that for some reason, if you've been living under a rock, we're the manufacturers of Pro-Acryl, all of our Pro Series brushes, Jen's Junk and Brush Goop, Go Bags, and all sorts of wonderful hobby products that you definitely need and more of in your life.
That's right.
So thank you for all your support. Make sure to stick around here. Chris is going to find us somebody to raid. So show some love in the chat. Don't do anything we wouldn't do, and we'll catch you back here tomorrow. Adios, gang.